Greetings family, Sista Shanice here, coming to you with an important message to the people. Family, it's time we started taking some serious steps towards unshackling our minds. So on my radio show yesterday, we had a deeply insightful discussion, and I'd like to just remind the family that we are the descendants of survivors. Our ancestors managed to survive 400 bitter years of the most wickedest treatment known to humanity, that's termed the European slave trade. And prior to that, they survived 1,500 years of even more brutality. What is known as the Arab slave trade. We are here because our ancestors decided that death would be more comfortable of a situation than slavery. So they fought and made the system unmanageable. Hence why we are free today. Free of the wickedness of wearing the physical chains, free of the lynchings, free of the chopping off of their limbs, free of the rape, free of the buggering and the whippings. But now we need to free our minds. We need to free ourselves of the mental slavery, the invisible psychological enslavement that is impeding our growth and our advancement. But remember, we are eternal beings. We have an unconquering soul. Our kingdoms may have been destroyed, but they can be rebuilt if only we liberate our minds and realize our power. The truth is, we are more powerful than we realize. So take a listen to the discussion on my radio show. I hope you will be inspired by the callers and their contribution, and I hope you will be inspired by our interaction, and you can even listen live for future shows and join in future debates from anywhere in the world. I'll put the links below, so please do subscribe. If you like it, please like the channel. Contribute towards my calling, which is to free our minds so we can achieve greatness. One love, family, more power, more strength, and more voodoo.
I know where I'm from. Tipper Irie, OBF. And me sing say, I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know where I'm coming.
He's a man who knows where he's coming from. Do you know where you're coming from? Let me just rewind Tipper Irie on this one.
Tipper Irie.
Woo! Picking up the man Tipper Irie on this track here.
And me sing say, I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know where I'm coming from. I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm going. It's a positive energy. I keep on.
I so like the top of that track. Let me rewind that again.
OBF.
Woo! Tipper Irie.
I'm a black man,
I'm an African,
and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know
where I'm coming from.
I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm going. It's a positive energy. I keep on showing respect myself, respect my roots, and respect my ancestors. I can't forget Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Robert Nesta. Teach us to educate our sisters and our brother. Teach us to unify and support one another. one God, one aim.
Okay, talking about supporting one another. If you want to support Tipper Irie on that track there, you can get it from the usual outlets these days that you can get your CDs from. So you can get it on Spotify, Amazon, you can get it on OBF, Album Signs, you can get it, also you can get copies from Dub Vendor as well online. You can go online to Dub Vendor, Dubquake Records. Yes, so there are a number of outlets that you can go to get a copy of this track. Let's bring it back again from the top, shall we?
I'm missing.
Woo!
I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know where I'm coming from. I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know
where I'm coming from. Rising up, the man Tipper Irie on that track there. From the time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I love this track, and it's the beginning that really just hooks me in on this track. So absolutely love it, and I hope you enjoyed that track as well, and might bring it in again before the end of the show as well. But before I go into my show, I just want to rise up our brother Jammers for the wonderful show that went before mine. Oh, I tell you, my brother, the knowledge that you was bringing and dropping, I just wanted to hear what you had to say. I just wanted to hear about the goals. I wanted to hear about, the message that you brought. So, I'm going to have to hold on until next Strong Now to get that insight, the deeper insight that you had scheduled to bring. Rising up, brother Gebra. I see your message there. Rise yourself up, my brother. Let's go to the screen and say and have a read of what you're saying here. It says AM, I think, blessings Empress, I'm a black man, rewind selector. Yes, I know how you feel about that one there. Rise up yourself, brother Gebra. And I've got a message here. Oops, sounding a bit some interference coming in there. Apologies for that. And got a message here from text message sender that ends 2226, asking if they can participate in today's discussion. Yes, you can. What I'm going to do is, oh dear, we've got some interference. I know it's coming from this other screen. Yes, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be setting out the topic, and then I'll open up the lines and I'll invite you to call in, and we welcome all contributions to the discussions that we're going to be having on the show today. So rising up, the entire galaxy family, rising up, we the original people of this earth. Some of these artists just have that ability, that talent. We are just such a creative people. We are an amazingly creative source. We really are. So rising up the text message senders as well. Thank you for your messages that are coming in. And just in case you want to send us a WhatsApp message, because our text line number is also a WhatsApp number, here is the number that you'll need. The number that you'll need to WhatsApp us here on the Big G Galaxy Afiwi is +44 737 792 0703. That is our WhatsApp number. In case you want to send us a message from outside the UK, just put your +44 then 737 792 0703. And if you want to call us live and direct later in the show, let me give you the all-important number that you will need in order to interact with us here on the Big G. That number is +44 207 193 0174. That is the live hotline number that you'll need to call in later in the show to interact with us here on the Big G. And so I just want to rise up, the entire galaxy family, wherever you may be in the universe, tuning in to us here on the Big G. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Yes, these are the Big G Galaxy Afiwi, the only de-brainwashing station. And please spread the word. We want to educate and inform our African nation because we have to prepare the next generation for the great works that we have to do in building our nation. Yes, so Galaxy Afiwi, your only community action station, is here to inform, to entertain, to educate. So please do keep it locked to the only de-brainwashing station. If you don't already have the Galaxy app, well, what are you waiting for? You can go, this is if you've got an Android phone, not an iPhone, an Android phone. You can go to Play Store and download the Galaxy Afiwi app. Yes. The app you need is called Galaxy Afiwi, one word. Download the app, and there in the app you'll be able to link to our station wherever you are in the world, live and direct. There are links there to the presenter shows on SoundCloud, Mixcloud, YouTube channels. There are video links. There's links to numerous newspapers from across the African world. There's updates and information. It is a one-stop shop for Wagwan via the Big G Galaxy Afiwi. And got to rise up our brother Noel for the works that he has done on behalf of the Big G for that there. And also rising him up because he's doing an awesome, fantastic, bombastic works on our Summit of Solution website as well. Yes, family. But in 2020, our website is going to be coming and it is looking good. So all of those who are members of our different Summit of Solution committees, start getting your articles ready, start getting your news and information ready, because the website is almost ready, okay? Those of you that are out there working in your projects and developing initiatives here in the UK and in the continent as well, rise yourself up for the great works. I think it's important that we continue doing the works and the tasks that we have assigned for ourselves, okay? Keep working in your groups to make things happen. And in time, yes, our family will see the manifestation of the works. And everything will go good for talk, you know it go. All right, so rising up all of the original people, all of the African people around the world, wherever you may be. We are the true custodians of this planet. We are the ones who are at one with this planet, at one with nature, at one with the universe, at one with the spirit. We are at one with the animal kingdom, at one with the insect world, at one with the marine life world, at one with the farmland land, at one with the land and the people, because we are the chosen people. We are the X factor. We are the people who populated the world. We are the only human species. We are the true humans. And who call ourselves Africans. And it's our time now to rise up as a family. It is our time now. And if there hasn't been a time, this is a time when the world really needs its chosen people. This is a time when the world really needs needs us as ones and ones, because the alien force, the alien forces that are in power at the moment, that have come to kill and destroy, are not only intent in trying to destroy us as Africans, trying to destroy us as the original people and wipe us off the face of the earth, as they have been doing for centuries upon centuries. Not only is that their mission to destroy us, but their mission is also to destroy the planet itself, to deplete the marine life, kill it off, to scorch the earth of all of the insects and the plants and the trees and the herbs and that which sustains us. They're intent also in polluting the environment from the skies to the ground. The planet is suffering at the hands of these alien forces that have been amongst us for the last 3,000 years or so, 4,000 years. And, during their time, they have caused an almighty catastrophe upon the earth. And if we don't rise up soon as the true guardians and protectors of this earth, if we don't rise up soon, then there's only going to be more destruction upon this earth. So the sleeping giants, it's time for you to awaken yourself and rise yourself up. We are a powerful people and we can accomplish anything that we put our mind to. And our history, makes that glaringly clear and glaringly obvious. That's why, we are not taught our history in their education or in their fooling system that they call the schooling system, because they know if we really knew who we were as a people, if we really knew how much we as a people had accomplished back in the days, then there's absolutely, then they know that we would not allow anything to stop us from going forward again in the future. So, that's why they've erased or tried to erase our history and our accomplishments and left us with a blank mind and, a mind to just admire them, because they know we are the true great ones. Okay, let me take a couple of calls. We've got a caller on the line already. Greetings, caller 983. Welcome to the Big G.
Greetings, Sista Shanice.
Greetings. Who do we have on the line?
You got Brother Michael. I phoned in a couple of times.
Welcome. Thank you for calling in again, Brother Michael. How are you doing today?
I'm not too bad. The sun is shining. I'm trying to get some vitamin D.
Yeah, man.
And contemplating and listening to what you're saying. And I just wanted to put this over, which I wanted to put over the other day, to be honest.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
With contribution to the strife and struggle that we're in. It's like, I see it as, for 400 years, they came to our turf, and if you like, kicked our ass. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now, after 400 years, we're here, and let's just say they've gone sour. Mm-hmm. So, do you really think we've got any chance in kicking somebody else's ass on their turf? My point being, I've come to the conclusion within myself that if we're going to win anything or gain any territory or be able to stand as a people, we have to do it on our own grounds. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We can't. I don't think we can win anything in this territory, because this is their land, this is their game. I don't think we'll ever be able to, because it looks like we're asking for the hierarchy, in a sense. But they're like, no, you're always going to stay down there. So I don't ever see us getting them keys to open them certain doors that we're asking for, because it's on their turf. And that's my viewpoint.
Interesting perspective, my brother, and that'd be a great one to deliberate. And this is where we need, I feel like, our council of wise men and women who come together behind closed doors and, have these sort of deliberations and discussions. And but my immediate thoughts is that we can win anywhere if we are in our right mind. And I believe, because in any war, part of the strategy is always to have the Trojan horses, isn't it, in the enemy's camps. And quite often those Trojan horses, those inside can do, more damage, than those outside. And it's working in collaboration, those on the inside with those on the outside. It's that collaboration, that tends, I feel, to win the war at the end of the day. But everyone's got to be in their right mind and has got to be on the same page in terms of the strategy and the plan.
We can win. Yeah, you're right. We can win anywhere, anything, anytime. We are that kind of people. Mm-hmm. I agree totally. We are competitors and winners. But there's a big but there. Again, if you're on someone else's ground, and I'd say they've got more of the Trojan horses, and if they change the goalposts, and if they change the rules because they've got all the powers, then we're going to win nothing. No matter how much power, how much answers we've got, how much strategies, when the goalposts are changed and the game's just flipped around and you don't know nothing, we ain't gonna win nothing. And this is what happens. We've got to do this, we've got to do that, we've got to do this conference, this gets banned, that gets interrupted. Black Lives Matter comes and disrupts things and makes it all look bad, and spoils it all. Every step we try to take on their grounds, there's a way to cut us back down again and doubly make us look worse. I think we're fighting a losing battle trying to fight anything on this ground system.
I hear what you're saying.
Our strength, our fighting ground, I think, is on our own grounds. I think it stands like football games. When you go to play away, half the time you're going to lose because the people on their own grounds are the better team because it's their own turf. They just know the pitch. It's kind of similar to that. If you're on someone else's grounds, they know their law. They know what their rights. They know this and better and how to strategically cut you on this. And I think our efforts are really good. But unfortunately, I think footballs are going to waste.
I hear what you're saying on that as well. And I think this is why I go back to the point where I say I think it's we have to be in our right mind, because it's a psychological mindset. You know, if you have, I believe, a winner mentality and a winner's mindset, you can win anywhere in the world. I mean, you can have the Olympics here and our people come from Africa, the Caribbean, and they will beat them and they will win. Cool. Yeah, because
but mentally, economically, other means whereby we're supposed to be looking at as entrepreneurs and so forth, in the forefront. We're not winning. We're not getting them positions and so forth. There's so many closed doors and that because they've got the strategy, they've got the rule books. So we are winners.
We are, and it's a psychological mindset, because if those competitors had come to the Olympics thinking, I'm coming from an impoverished background, I'm coming from a disadvantaged background, they've got the wonderful tracks where they can practice and got all the sponsors that enable them to practice 24/7. I'm only able to practice at a weekend, strong end, say, around my other responsibilities. If they'd have come in with that defeatist mindset, then I think that they would have lost the race before they even started. But they come, believing that they could win. And sometimes, it's easy for us to look at the doors that are closed rather than to look at all the doors that are open. And the reason why, I will always maintain that we are overcomers and we will win and do have the potential to win and can win is because sometimes I just think about what life would have been like during our years of enslavement and, the horrors, and the wickedness and the evil that our people would have been experiencing on those plantations. And despite the circumstances that we were in, we freed ourselves from our enslavement. We won the fight. Okay, it took hundreds of years, but our people never gave up. Just imagine if they'd have said, they've got the guns, they've got the cannons, they've got the whips, there's no way that we can win. We are to suffer this forever. We would still be in shackles today. These people didn't remove the shackles and chains because they suddenly got some humanity from somewhere.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Again, because we're resilient, because they drained the resources, so they didn't need us apparently again. So because this is the start of the revolution, the manufacturing, blah blah blah. Because they, siphoned lots of money and they were able to not need us no more. One other point, if I may, that I did want to make is it's like, can we not kind of like America, like Spain, like so and so? They've got a president, they've got a prime minister, they've got one leader. What I see it as, we're fighting for Africa, but it's like, what's Africa? It's, to me, excuse my not getting it right, but I don't see I'm fighting for Africa when I do my Garvey things, because Africa isn't one Africa. So as far as I'm looking at it if I go on the other side of the fence, I'm looking at, look at them idiots fighting for Africa, but really, we're attacking Zimbabwe, we're attacking Kenya, we're attacking Congo, we're attacking the individual places which can't stand up for themselves. They can't go, oh, excuse me, Africa, can you give us a hand now? Because Africa isn't there. Do you see? Am I right on that? There isn't one united continent. We're still split up. So there isn't one strong man to say, right, we African continents come together because we're under attack from Russia with regards to the situation. No, isn't it?
I hear what you're saying. There is a works to be done to build that unity and to rebuild that strength that we once had as a people. And we have gone through, what do you call it? A hell of a course. Not just those of us who were taken out of Africa, but the people on the continent as well also suffered, brutally and at the hands of those invaders. And so there is a huge job of work to be done to rebuild Africa as well. Remember, our enslavement, and then after that, colonialism, and now that's what they call imperialism. We've been suffering. We haven't been in our true powerful self for about 2,000 years. About 2,000 years.
Yeah.
But look at the journey. Look at where we're coming from. I've got a text message sender here that says, "Don't lose heart, brother. It looks darkest just before sunrise. The only way to lose is to give up. Now is the time to double our efforts." Rise up, text message sender. I think we feel your disheartenment, my brother, but you have to look and see where we're coming from.
The only day I give up is the day my skin changes colour.
Let's hope that don't happen.
That's me. Till the day I die, the only way I'll give up is when I'm dead. I can't have this.
That's right. And we're here for a purpose. We are here for a purpose. And, our victory, we may not see our victory because our ancestors who fought on the plantations maybe didn't see the victory and they didn't experience the freedom that we're experiencing now, albeit with all of the restrictions that you're referring to. But, we've come a long, long way. We've been going through a dark, dismal tunnel for about the last...
In the P taken out of us.
Sorry, the what taken out of us?
The P. I won't say the full word. The P taken out of us.
Yeah, I mean...
So we should have one leader in Africa, I think. And then, boom, Africa is one Africa.
Yeah.
Then it's a power. But when it's all broken up individually, like it's been for 100 years, then they're still going in individual countries without the next continent, next door neighbour knowing, and giving this, doing this. There's one about one continent. Yes, the other day, it slipped me now, but it's a powerful, disgusting bit of news what's going on with the West invading that country and manipulating. I can't remember what it is.
Is it Venezuela? They were trying to invade.
It wasn't Venezuela. But as I say,
well, what we have to remember, this is their trait. They've been doing this from the day they came out the caves. Yeah, they have been on a mission to destroy the original people of the earth. Yeah. We are the survivors. We are the descendants of survivors. Yeah, these people, they have committed genocide from Russia all the way down through Europe, all the way through Asia, or all across South America, the Caribbean islands. I mean, Australia, they've been committing genocide across the face of the earth, and they haven't finished yet, and they won't finish until they've cleaned up Africa and wiped Africa free of all of the Africans that are there. And it's only because Africa is our birthplace, and because we are there in such great numbers, why they haven't managed to wipe us off the face of the earth. And they know, with the monsoon winds now, that they understand that anything they drop on Africa, they're going to get the blowback. So that's the only reason why they haven't, kind of just dropped a nuclear bomb on us.
Yeah, just the land. That's my main point, because it's a case of, we chat, I hear them say, which is true. I want to know what's going on. But I personally can't do nothing apart from give a little sponsor to Galaxy, which I've done, my little direct debit. That's my only way I can help as a me one. But if I've got a voice, this is what I'm doing, and my suggestion, hopefully it would be there thrown in the mix, because I think it might be quite a good one, would be to input by saying, I hope to see one African leader.
Yeah. Oh, let me just respond on that point while I remember. Sorry to interject.
That's right. With the agreement of all the other little countries around it, saying, yes, okay, this is like Mugabe. I think he could have been a very good candidate to be the one African president.
Yeah.
As I say, I'll leave it there.
Before you go,
power.
2 points I want to raise. 2 points I want to raise before you go, my brother Michael. One, to say that there is a movement towards a one Africa, a united Africa. Our sister Shombori Akwayo. I can't remember her name exactly. Yeah. She has been advocating for that. One Africa.
Before. Yeah.
Chumboyo, Quayo, someone will ring, I'll get her name. But she's been advocating. She's the former UN ambassador from the USA on the United Nations, and she's advocating for that. And she's putting some powerful arguments for that to happen as well. And also,
the clip of her.
Yeah.
The clip. Yeah.
And when we're in our right mind, my brother, when we're in our right mind, you see what they have here as weapons of mass destruction? It'll be nothing compared to the weapons that we will be coming with, because ours is going to be coming from the universe. We had the powers, my brother, to bring weapons from out of space to inner this space. And you see, anytime we get back in our mind, yes, my brother.
And I believe that. I hear that. I feel that. I believe that.
So don't worry yourself. Everything in time. But we have to be making the right moves in the right direction, which we are. And this is the period of awakening. So we have to awaken our brothers and sisters to the truth. We've come a long, long way. And even in the last 50 years, when you think of the knowledge or the lack of knowledge that our parents had compared to the knowledge that we have about who we are and where we're coming from, and how great we were as a people. Wow.
Yeah. I'll leave you with a negative and a positive, can I?
Go on then.
Negative and a positive. Okay. What do you want first?
Go on. Oh, I don't like negatives at all, but if you must, do the negative and leave me on a positive.
The negative was again... so to enable us, I think, also to strategically win, we've got to think, we've got to be a bit more evil. Not be, sorry, I'll rephrase that. We've got to think a bit more evil. Why? Because, again, as I believe, to beat the evil man or the killer, you've got to think like a killer. Because then you got half an idea on his strategies. You have to get in the mind of a killer to know. You see, just say that, and that's where I learned that from as well. So you've got to know them, know your enemy to beat your enemy. That's the negative. So we've got to kind of think a bit more dirty and negative. And what would they do if? Maybe I should do, and think to them.
Fight evil with evil.
I believe that's what they're on. Yeah. The positive is. I don't know what it is with this human ear when you hear it, but it's in all of us. But when you hear someone laugh, certain people, it really makes you smile as well to hear them laugh. If we can hear you smile, crack a little joke, or someone come make you laugh or something, is catchy. And it makes you laugh or smile when I hear you laugh. I don't know why, I just want to say that. That's the positive.
Thank you. Yes, my brother, as we got through, we have to try and enjoy the journey. So it's not just about endurance, but yes. Rise yourself up. And I hear what you're saying about having to fight evil with evil, fight fire with fire. Yes, those who believe we could love the evil out of them. I don't know about that one either. We've got another caller on the line. He may have wanted to interact with you. So just hold it there, please. It's Elder Des from Bedford, according to this. Greetings, Elder Des. Welcome to the Big G.
Rise up, Empress.
Rise up yourself. And if you've got your radio on in the background, please turn it off.
And rise up to the brother just speaking.
Yeah, that was Brother Michael. Brother Michael, can you put your phone on mute, please? Just in case the background noise is coming from where you are. Thank you. Brother Des, come in.
Well, I was listening to the brother and I was reminded of a poem by a Victorian poet by the name of William Ernest Henley. And I'd like to sort of say it to encourage him.
Yes, my brother.
I'll sort of paraphrase a little bit. So it goes something like this. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the frail clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, loom but horrors of the shade, and yet the menace of the years find and shall find me unafraid. It matters not, straight the gate, out charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. Voodoo power to the ancestors.
Wow, powerful poem there, a powerful poem. Yes.
So basically what I'm trying to say to the brother and all the listeners out there, the community of Galaxy Afiwe, rise up, because the enemy hides behind a facade. And it's merely the conditioning that they have inflicted on us. Because according to the ancestor Carter G. Woodson, if you control a person's thinking, you do not have to worry about their actions. And sadly, I've met so many so-called educated people in this country of our race, and very few of them has any vision. They've become so domesticated that they cannot think outside of what they've been told. They have stopped thinking of the vision. Now, personally, I had a vision to write a book. I accomplished it. Then it's like getting to the top of the mountain. What do you do next? So my vision now is to set up a Saturday school. And my vision for that is in 5 or 10 years' time for it to become an independent academy. Because when you think of it, the only reason why a person would become depressed or despondent is because they lack a vision. When you have a vision, hope springs eternal. This poem I just read was inspired by Nelson Mandela. I have my reservation about him, but the fact that he made an impact and he could have given up, but because he believed in himself and he had a vision. So I say to my brother and to all my family out there, we need to focus on the vision. Now, the idea of a vision means you have a target, you have a aim. When I was in the military, I was a marksman. And the idea of having an aim is that you ignore all the surrounding noise. You ignore all the environmental factors and you focus on your target. So when we have a vision to examine the situation, see what is needed, and initiate the solution, then our ancestors become more powerful in us. Because they did not struggle for us to give up.
Right.
I don't know if you want to come in at this point, because I don't want to do a lecture.
Well, I was actually enjoying, that lecture, because, some deep thoughts that you were sharing with us there, and you're getting into the psyche, I think, because, we have been battling for almost 2,000 years. So it's understandable if, in some of us, we're feeling a bit punch drunk, and feeling as though 2,000 years on, the soul maybe is starting to feel weary. And it's at times like this that, we need to lift each other up. And you are coming with some uplifting lyrics there, how hope springs in eternal. I've got a note of that, because yes, we are eternal beings, and even when we leave this realm, we will be coming back. And you was reminding us that we have to focus on the vision, and not be sidetracked, and that what I was thinking as you was talking is that the enemy might seem all powerful, they might seem almighty, but you said they're just, I can't remember what words you used,
It's a mirage.
It's a mirage, yeah. It is, because let me give you an example of that. Seemingly all-powerful, seemingly almighty, but it just being a mirage. Who saw the young youths who were having a party in Brixton? You see when the Almighty come. You see what happened to the Almighty when them come. You know, and that was just spontaneous.
Myself.
Sorry?
I could go back to the 80s myself.
Yes, me too.
When the rat done Wellington Road and them made it.
You was there too? Me was there as well.
Deptford, Lewisham. And you see, because me live a country but me rock a town.
Like that one.
No, but when we think of it really, we only have to realize that, okay, in the last 2,500 years when our people decided not to dominate the world anymore, because up until 525 BCE, we were the rulers of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then came the Persian, Eurasian, and the allies, and we basically gave up on world domination quest. And ever since that day, we've been under attack.
Mm-hmm.
Because they saw our retreat as weakness. Mm-hmm. And we have allowed ourselves now to be inoculated with their false philosophy and their false ideology. So basically, we just need to go back to return to the origin.
Mm-hmm.
We are a people of vision. We had the first vision that is recorded in human history was by Africans.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is when we gave them religion that the Greeks and the outcast Hebrews twisted and copied.
Mm-hmm.
And the Romans repackaged it, and the barbarians readapted it, and then now sell it back to us.
Mm-hmm. We'll be going into that today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when you know yourself, as the ancestors told us to do, is to know yourself, you have no need to feel despondent.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are unconquered. They might have taken a few of the warriors into enslavement, but the masses are still free, and all they need to do is to liberate themselves from mental oppression.
Right.
They've been inoculated with these Eurasian false philosophy of Christianity and Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And it is destroying us, because once you control what a people thinks, you control their actions.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start telling us that their God was better than our gods, and we start believing it, this is where we became fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had our ancestor who was within us and who was us. Mm-hmm. And they start telling us that our Father is in heaven. Which kind of heaven? Is it beyond Mars or above Venus? Where is it? Mm-hmm. Them tell you all kind of stupidness. But your Father is in heaven. You have man who denounce woman and talk about him a father. You have woman who denounce man and talk about she a mother. And yet we follow this stupidness. So we need to liberate our mind. Think of our plan. What is your aim in life?
Mm-hmm.
Reflect on yourself. Why am I here? You should answer that question yourself. No one can tell you the truth. The truth is within you. So it's up to us to liberate ourselves and reinvestigate and review our current situation and say, well, what can I do to improve condition?
Let me bring back our brother Michael. Let me see if he's still on the line. I did ask him to put his phone on mute, but let me see if he's still there. He might want to comment on some of what you said. And to the other callers that were just trying to call in, my apologies that I was unable to add you, but please call in after our brother Des has completed his words for today to uplift and inspire us. Brother Michael, are you still there?
I'm still here, Sister Shanice.
Yes, have you been hearing our brother?
I certainly have, and thank you for that, brother. Firstly, to reply, congratulations and compliments, and I'll big you up for your venture that you're doing there for the people. I think you deserve support, you deserve advertisement, and our people should be behind you, because that's the only way to make life easy, otherwise it's a struggle. It's great that you mentioned it on this platform, because I hope a lot of people will be in contact and asking Sister Shanice for the number and contact and whatever, because we need to help each other. So well done on that one. With regards...
Carry on.
Okay, with regards to giving up or keeping the faith, I don't know how to put it in words, but as I was growing as an English boy in this place, listening to Wham and Boy George, all them idiot things, my friends, I decided to switch on and think, who am I? And I did switch on, and I come on to the right side of who I am and where I should be. And from what I've learned, listening to people like Sista Shanice and Bongo and all the rest of the Galaxy presenters and from certain books, I am so powerful in my means of focusing on my people and my country, Africa. Because this, to me, is like, wow. I'm still swallowing the pill. Look what they've done. Can you believe what they've done? It's still sinking in, basically. Yeah, I'm 50-year-old. So I've learned a little bit. I'm a big man, 3 pick me. But it's still sinking in. Oh, my God. So it's like it's almost sort of just happened. It's still happening. It's life to me. It's not like, oh, it was 400 years ago. It doesn't feel like that. Maybe to them, but to us, it doesn't feel like 400 years ago. It feels like it's now sort of thing. So that's how powerful I feel. So to think I'll give up, or, you know, I'm as strong as anything to stand at the front line to do whatever I can for our people. So
awesome.
On that one, brother.
Awesome. Let me bring in another caller. I think it's Brother Zizwe. I'm not sure. Greetings, caller. Who do we have on the line?
Greetings, my sister. This is Brother Zizwe.
Hey, greetings, Brother Zizwe. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you? I'm so glad you were able to.
Another caller.
Yeah, please turn off your radio. If you've got your radio on in the background, please turn it off.
Press 1. If you
Because,
2.
okay, and other callers, put your call on mute, please.
Want to leave a message?
Okay, that's Brother Zizwe's line there. Are you still there, Brother Zizwe?
Hang up.
Yes, I am.
Okay, is that your phone that we're hearing?
No, sorry, sister, this is mine. Can I just say I might get cut off now because I'm going to go on the train in a little while?
Okay, Brother Michael, and when you come up the other side, keep it locked, yeah?
If you've decided you don't want to leave a message,
Okay, so
I will do, thank you.
who's...
Power, Brother Michael.
to leave this message and end the call.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one love, Brother Michael. Brother Zizwe, we're having a problem with your line. Let me just check. Have we got 2 callers there? We're just having Brother Prophet Kwaku. It looks like you're on the line as well, Brother Prophet.
3. If you've decided
Brother Prophet Kwaku.
message, press
Okay, let me. I think that might be Brother Kwaku's phone there.
Sister Shanice, is that me? Michael?
No, I've got
Referring to.
a call. Okay, let me see if it's gone now. Yes, Brother Zizwe.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, fantastic. Greetings, my brother. How you doing? Welcome to the Big G, calling in from the USA.
Revolutionary greetings to you, my sister, and all the family at
Revolutionary greetings right back at you, my brother. Your line cut for a second. Please come back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're hearing you. You've clicked back in. Yes, my brother.
The only de-brainwashing station that I know of, and I appreciate what you all are doing, standing up for our people worldwide. the struggle continues. I've been listening to the conversation, and I just want to tell you all that Kwame Nkrumah says organization decides everything. Organization decides everything. We're not outmanned. We're not outgunned. Well, they might have more guns. They might have more material, but it's a matter of organization.
Truly.
And we have to get our people organized, and we have to do it on a worldwide basis. There is a Pan-African movement that has existed in organized form since 1900, and today we are trying to put together all the revolutionary Pan-Africanist organizations into one big political party that will hopefully liberate our people from the vestiges of slavery and colonialism and neocolonialism, which is the last stage of imperialism. And so I appreciate the callers and the people who make their contributions to this cause. You know, we're going through a lot of struggle everywhere in the world right now. And as you said earlier, is a really critical point now that we get it together, because what they want to do is keep us fighting in isolated form. And we have to come together worldwide as an African people through organization and common ideology, common ideas. And those common ideas, of course, are based on the history of our people's struggle, the history of African culture, and that's how we create our ideology. There's an African ideology called Nkrumahism, Touréism, in my organization called the All African People's Revolutionary Party.
Rise yourself up, Brother Keysway, for that. Brother Zizway, thank you for your interjection here. Let me bring back Brother Des from Bedford. You heard our brother Zizway. We need to all be on the same ideological page, reminding us of the different stages that we've been going through over the last 2,000 years or so of our destruction, and organization is key. Brother Elder Des.
Yes, Empress Shanice. And voodoo power to my brother there in the big snake over there. I have been listening to his idea of the revolutionary movement and the Pan-African movement particularly. And this is a longing for all of us in the diaspora to see a united Africa. And the struggle ahead is not necessary that we all think alike or operate on the same page, because there are diverse segments to any organization and community or nation. But we do need what I believe to be a universal constitution. Now, when you look at, for example, the constitution of the Hebrew, which they call the Ten Commandments, which came from the original 42 declaration of the African Egyptian school, that is a commitment to each other, and it's an intention that this is how we treat each other, because from what I have observed, the way we progress from here onwards does not depend on Mazungu or any external force. It depends on how we treat each other. And we need that understanding that what affects you affects me. And that needs to be taught to our children from a very early age. This is where we need to take control of the education of our children, so that they can grow up with a better understanding of who they are, a better understanding of each other, and a commitment to the future of our people. But as long as they are domesticated by our oppressor, their vision will be destroyed, because they will not be educated about themselves or about their people. They will be domesticated to be the servants of others. That is the purpose of an education system, The curriculum within our school is a collusion. I was talking to my son about the curriculum the other day, and I said to him, I said, well, why is it you think that you learn about the Jewish Holocaust, but they never teach you about the African Holocaust? And he said he doesn't know. So I said, well, what do you think a curriculum is? And he said, it's an arrangement. So I said, an arrangement by whom? So our children are being educated in an arrangement, in other words, a collusion, in which we are not party to. Our history, for example, in terms of the African contribution to world development, social and economical and philosophical, has never been acknowledged. And it's not been taught to our children. So our children grow up learning about all other nations except themselves. And in their frustration, they reject education for a more nihilist or fatalistic lifestyle, not knowing their place in this world and not having a vision. So this is why I am only trying to do what I can at the local level, but I am thinking globally. And I am inspired by Carter G. Woodson in his effort to put the life and history of black people on the map. And his legacy continues, because when we are able to transmit our values, our culture, our knowledge to our offspring, and as my brother Michael referred to them as pickaninnies, well, I want to challenge him on that, because we do not have pickaninnies. We are prince and princesses. And we want to inoculate them with our strength. They are the heirs to the kingdom to come, the one that we are working towards. And so we need to spend more on the education of our children. And only we as a people can educate ourselves and each other. No one else can teach you your history. Your story is your story. Because as long as the hunter tells the story of the hunt, the lion will be the victim. But when the lion is allowed to tell the story, I'm sure he'll tell you how many times he attacked the hunter, and the hunter had to run. So this is where I am trying to promote an awareness. And while I'm trying to work on my next book, which is about God, religion, and society, they have used a false philosophy to control our thinking in order to control society, so that they can benefit from all the arrangements, because they're the one that makes the arrangement. But they use this thing of a God to scare you into believing that there's an external force beyond yourself. And there isn't. Know ye not that ye are gods. And when we start believing that we're gods and kings and prince and princesses and emperor and empresses, we will start behaving as king and empress. So this is where we're at now. We need to mobilize ourselves, as my brother was saying, that without organization, you cannot organize resource. You cannot direct resource. You cannot manage resource effectively. And one person can only shout in the dark. But together, we are able to challenge and to overcome all adversary. Because we have the strategy. We gave them strategies that they're now using against us. We gave the world the first university qualification, called a degree.
That's
They're
true.
still using it today. The education of enlightenment, we gave it to the world, mathematics. And then they turn around and tell you, I was talking to my son, I said, what is this Pythagoras theorem? I said, what is the pyramid if it's not Pythagoras, if it's not a theorem that Pythagoras stole? I said, where did he invent anything called Pythagoras theorem? And he said, well, he didn't. But this is how they steal our identity and pass it off as their own. So they look invincible. and we look weak and vulnerable.
That's right.
Talk about the facade. It's the smoke and mirrors. They learn their tricks. Don't forget, one of the curriculum of the ancient African school was magic.
That's right.
So we gave them that.
And imagine if when we, are in our right minds and we start to remember how we used to do magic and how we used to cast spells. Just imagine when we get those powers back.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're running around saying that they're psychologists and they are therapists and all them kind of is. And they stole them all from us. But we have forgotten who we are. That's why they seem so big and powerful.
That's right.
Don't be disheartened because we are greater than we think we are. Because, as I said to a brother last night, whatever you think, rethink. Because your first thought is not yours. Whatever you think, I would suggest to all my brothers and sisters out there, whatever you think, rethink it. This is where the word research comes in. It merely means re-look, re-examine. Because we've been inoculated, we've been colonized mentally, so that what we're thinking is not in our interest. So we need to rethink what we're thinking and turn it around, and then start to find the truth of what the substance of the matter may be.
Wow. Well, I've been making lots of notes, Brother Des, from what you've been saying there. Another powerful input and contribution from yourself and from all the brothers today. Wow. Let me allow... we've lost Brother Michael, but we've got Brother Zizwe. Please feel welcome to come back, Brother Zizwe.
Yes. We want to thank Brother Des for his contribution, and we just want to say that when we say we need common ideology, that does not mean that you think the same. In fact, it encourages a diversity of thoughts to contribute to the principles that our people should live by. Africa was an organized society, just like other organized societies. And we would say that the highest form of flattery is imitation. The form of flattery is imitation. And there's no problem with other people learning from African society. In fact, that's how most of the world to organize themselves based on morals and principles that were already laid out by African people.
Yeah.
So that's no problem. The problem is when people take things and use them to impose or invade Africa. Like, for example, Christianity. The belief in one God started in Africa, as we know. And this system of belief started in the Egyptian mystery system, and it came back in the form of Euro-Christianity.
Yeah.
Also, the same thing with Arab Islam. Belief in one God that became what we call now Islam, started in Africa also.
Akhenaten.
Religion can be used as a tool of liberation or oppression. So people have used different tools to invade Africa, and the reason why Africa was able to be succumbed was our lack of organization at a certain point in time to be able to defend African society. And that's not unusual. The only problem is that we have to nowadays put Africa back on the path towards unification. Because as Kwame Ture, that great revolutionary whose birthday happened to be June 29th, he told us that all societies, there's no inferior or superior society on earth. There's no superior or inferior cultures on earth. All societies go from small social aggregates to larger social aggregates. Africa, of course, was on its way towards being one unified socialist Africa. But that process was interrupted by European invasion and intervention. What we have to do is to put Africa back on that path. And at the point of Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Haile Selassie, and others they were on that path, and then the most significant assassination occurred, of course, with the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. The Congo had been liberated on June 30th, 1960, 60 years ago, almost to the day. And the Congo agreed to be part of a union of African states on August 8th, 1960. So the imperialist forces did not want unified Africa, and they intervened because we were still not at the point where we can defend ourselves in terms of military, first of all, most important. And so before Africa could get itself together, they intervened. So now we have to get that thing together where we can defend ourselves through a political military organization, because we know African people are very strong, without a doubt, and that it's just a matter of getting organized to kick out the external enemy by getting rid of these puppets among our people who continue to let the external enemy control our resources and keep us divided. And that's what Kwame Nkrumah defined as neocolonialism. When you have independence, flag independence, but your economy is controlled by external forces. That's what neocolonialism is. And you have a class of people who make a class alliance with that external enemy, which is the small few who control the European nation states of America and Europe. And so that's what we're working on in the All African People's Revolutionary Party as we speak. And there's many other organizations that's doing the same thing. So we know we're going to have victory, not necessarily in this generation, as Frantz Fanon says, out of relative obscurity, each generation must rise and fill out its creed. Each generation must contribute to the forward advancement of Africa and African people towards that one unified soul as Africa.
Absolutely. Let me bring in caller 527 and then caller 240 into the discussion. Bringing in caller 527. Greetings. Who do we have on the line?
And rising, this is Moya. I just want to add that in terms of our spiritual journey, our spiritual armor, we need to be looking at the language we speak out of ourselves and within ourselves. So what I attempt to do is when I'm greeting somebody, I will say, Grand Rising to you and yours, today and every day, now and forevermore. But the last frontier is the mind. So, because the mind is the last frontier, this is where we have to come back to. We need to learn about our energy systems, and we need to look at how other cultures, besides the parasites that we're living in, we need to look at other cultures that have taken from us. We need to look at our energy centers, our chakra centers, and we need to acknowledge that the power lies within.
Yes.
Synchronicity. Just look at that word, synchronicity. I was speaking with a sister very briefly who every time I look at her, she reminds me of the Chinese. She's a Yoruba. And I said to her, check out your family line. And I said, a doctor from China sent me a video where they were talking about they originate from Africans. And a brother sent that to me from America today. And I didn't ask physically for it, but I asked the energies, the ancestors. If we really want help, we have to go to our ancestors. We have to call on them. They will come.
Yes.
But because we don't have a belief in our DNA, in our bloodline, in our ancestors, we don't call on them. And I'm telling you, if we are to come out of this victorious, we have to call on our ancestors. Imagine you can walk into a store in Brixton and a man kick you down. An Indian man can kick you down. 2 days ago this happened in Brixton. And what has happened? And I'm saying, okay, we need to have lawyers. I've got a lawyer I can put her onto, but I don't know the sister's name. So we need to get organized also in terms of when things happen that you're concerned about, take the person's name, take their telephone number.
Right.
Or give them your name, give them your telephone number, and lawyer up. Yes, you'll go through the procedures with the police, blah, blah, but lawyer up.
Mm-hmm. For real, my sis.
Lawyer up. And then sue.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have to contribute.
My sis, powerful contribution. Thank you so much for your input and for your good words of advice there, because, you know, someone listening today may actually witness an incident and may recall your advice, you know, to take the name, take the telephone number, the contact details, so that, you know, we can put people in touch with those who are able to help and assist. And what was your name, my sis?
Moyo, Nahanda Moyo.
Moya, Nyanda Moya. Love your name too.
Moyo.
Moyo.
It's Zimbabwean and Nigerian for heart.
Yeah, Nyanda was the Chimarenge warrior queen who they murdered, and well, after she gave them a good beating and led the Chimarenge to war, you know, they eventually caught her, but she said, you know, my bones will rise again, and she's rising through you, my sis. Rise up yourself now and forevermore. Vudum.
She had two armies. The trouble is with us, sometimes we don't listen. She said, when you go and fight these people, do not bring anything that belongs to them into our camp. And they didn't listen. Rituals were done. And it was worked out that if you bring anything from their camp, after warring with them, into our camp, it will be our downfall. So, you know, we need to listen. We need to go to the ancestors. And know that when you're walking, they're behind you. They just need to be asked. You know, say, you know, can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah? The Queen of England studied Egyptology. The Queen of England, when she was inaugurated, if that's a word they use here, had certain oils combined, and her head was oiled before the crown was put on her head. Yeah? So, when our children are born, we need to whisper to them how powerful they are.
Absolutely.
The first word to come from the mother's mouth in the child's ear should be who they are. Yeah, and these are things we used to do, and we don't do them anymore. When an elder dies or somebody dies, there are oils that should be put on their crown, so that when they come back with knowledge. When they come back, you can see them. But these things we don't do anymore because we're told it's voodoo, we're told it's negative. But let me tell you, the things that they tell us are evil and wicked, they practice themselves. So, and remember the Sibyls. If you want to know more, check out the Sibyls. Okay.
The Sibyls, my sis, maybe.
All day. Take care.
Yes, rise up, Sister Nyanda Moyo. Maybe next time you can come back and share with us and enlighten us about the Sibyls. Rise up.
Ah, yes, definitely. Definitely.
One love, beautiful.
Much appreciated for your time and your energy.
Much appreciate, love you, my sis. Thank you so much for your interjection. More power, more voodoo to you now and forevermore. Ashe. Voodoo power. Ashe. Bringing in caller 240.
Okay.
Yes, greetings caller 240.
Greetings, hi.
Okay, 240 has just come off the line. Okay, unknown caller. I think that's you, Brother Connect. Come in.
Brother Kenny.
Yes.
How you doing? You sound well and up and well. You sound good, so it's all good.
It's all good. Thank you, my brother. Rise yourself up.
Because we, even when we speak, it's a vibration, so we say good, but the negative obviously coming in. But the question to whom is what gives them, so-called law to the so-called schools for our youth? Them thing there, I feel them something, And indeed, these callers are extraordinary points, are bang on point, are right, correct. The edgy nonsense as well is keeping us in reverse, So and leaving us even disorientated, Sister Shanice, So rising, Sister Shanice, in this time because the wars and constant attacks and bombardment with negativity, bamboozle cover-ups, with the silly games they play and smoke screen they use, to keep us sidetracked and off our right path. From the negative side of the universe and the Wazungu puppets who are involved in this clearly. We must join forces now and bring what good we have together at this present time, right, in this moment. Because reminder, only you can control you, and that's exclusive to you. That's of most importance as well, But these operating enemies, Tating, Wazungu, I'm not going to say the M word, MFs, yes, what I mean, are depending and reliant upon her, to stop allowing, to stop accepting and feeding them, with our time and energy and mindfulness, because, they're zapping and extracting energy without us even fully aware, some of us, so, and most or whatever, so, wipe us out entirely and fully and completely with their agenda, as we know. So rise up, mighty ones, to our original state of spirituality, ever more powerful, these actual literal from our ancestors, what was in them, what is in them, and will always be in them, is in us. I've got to collect there, and I'll call back.
Rise up yourself, Brother Connects. Yes. And thank you for rising up all of the ever so powerful people and for reminding us that everything that was in our ancestors, that was in those mighty powerful ones, is indeed in us.
Yes, right.
Rise up yourself, my brother.
Rise up.
Well, Vodun power to you. Also, bringing in caller 527. Greetings, caller 527. Who do we have on the line?
Yes, Grand Rising, Sister Shanice. You call my number, but I think Sister Mayo took the chance to come on.
Yeah, I figured that out afterwards. Yeah, because that number left and yours is still in. Welcome. Who do we have on the line?
Yes, Nana Kutu here. Yes.
Nana Kutu, welcome.
Yes. Yeah. Just on the last caller, not the previous guy, the lady. She's she got a lot of things on point. The African need to go back to their indwelling spirit. So that's the fundamental thing that we have to do. But I've been hearing some interjection on the historical side of things. And I just like to interject my bit into it as well.
Of course, go ahead, my brother.
And yes. Just to edify their family, how things really went down, because we have a lot of pseudo history, in the world, and it's just like misguiding us very much so, So just I like to have my take on it and just to show the family a few things.
Each one teach one. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay. Before I start, before we have to know who we are, we are consciousness. Yeah, in actuality, we are consciousness, pure consciousness. Yeah, right. So we just come into the skin. We just come into skin. We manifest into the skin. But we are consciousness originally. We thoughts. So these thoughts are regulated by by the zodiacs. The zodiacs. Age. Yeah, you aware of those? Yes. Like you have the Taurus age. You have the Pisces age, and now we're going to the Aquarius age, like that, right. Okay, so before the coming of the barbarians, the Europeans, Africa was already in division, because they were just coming from the age of Taurus, so there was a lot of division among all the priesthoods, so all the different temples were having arguments, not fighting as such. No, because ancient Africans never fought. You know, this is another grave mistake that we make. We never had any armies. You know, Africa, we never had any armies, no prison cells. You know, because you can't give civilization to the world and create prisons and army. You know, that's only a corrupt system that has that. Right? So this thing that we have is wrong about ancient Africans. Ancient Africans, we gave birth to the world first civilization.
That's true.
When you say civilization, you don't have prisons, you don't have armies. We get it all wrong. So anyway, so when the Greeks came in, right? Yeah, the Greeks, contrary to popular belief, yeah, listen to this, the Greeks were the first Europeans to come. Yeah? Right?
Yes.
So when they came in, the Africans were already divided. Right, so that's how they came in, right? When they came in with Alexander the Greek, yeah? And his general, Ptolemy Lagi. Yeah, Ptolemy Lagi. He was a very aggressive general army, right? But when they came in, they didn't come in like warring, you know? Because when they came in, what they saw, they were in awe. They were in awe before the grandeur, you know, edifices and the culture and everything. So literally, they were on their knees, begging to be taught, you know. But, you know, the Greeks that came were very illiterate. They couldn't read or write. You know, they never had any civilization prior to them coming to Africa. You know, they could speak a language, but they couldn't read and write. You know, right. So when they came in, Alexander begged and begged and begged for like 5 years, you know. And he died without the Africans, the ancient Africans, you know, teaching him how to be as great as the African, you know. So when he died, his general Ptolemy took over. Then he went, okay, now it's me. My boss is dead, so now, yeah, I'm the general. If you don't teach me how to be a god like you, I will kill all of you. Yeah. So everybody started saying, nah, we're not going to help. We're not going to help. We're not going to help. So he started to close down all the temples of the different disciplines. Yeah. There's only one discipline. There was only
Sorry, one moment, please. Brother Biafra, can you put your phone on mute, please? Please put your phone on mute. Brother Biafra, thank you. Okay, please continue, my brother 527.
Right. So Ptolemy general, right? He closed down all the temples. And there was one left. One priesthood family in Africa decided to help Ptolemy. Yeah? Right. This priesthood automatically became the first Uncle Tom's, first sellout in history. Yeah? They are known as the Melkite. Yeah? Right. So these people created like a god for Ptolemy. Yeah, using two of their sacred, you know, African spiritual gods, Apis the bull, and what they call it, Osiris. You know, they call it Astar.
Yes.
Osiris, yeah, Greek Osiris, right? So they combined the two. Then after that, they created out of the two a new name called Serapis. You know, and they gave this Serapis name to Ptolemy, and they added Sota to it, means he's the savior of Egypt. You know, so this savior of Egypt called Serapis, everybody in Africa had to worship this thing, you know. And this is the time that started religion. Serapis religion, yeah, was the first religion in the entire world, and it ushered in the Piscean age. You know, that's what we are in. The age of religion is the age of Pisces. You know, in the age of Pisces is the age of deception, destruction, and death. You know, that's the age we are in. Deception, destruction, and death. That's where it's so. It's to do with consciousness. So automatically, the Africans are not going to be in the right frame of mind because they're already in deception. The generations that came after Ptolemy era, the Africans that came after Ptolemy era, they were very deceived because they were yoked under deception, you know, because we are consciousness. So whatever age you find yourself yoked in, that's how you're going to think, you know. So because it's the age of deception, they were able to misguide our spirit. you know. So we have become literal thinkers, and you know, and speakers. We think literally. So the African nature doesn't think literally. We're more philosophical when we speak, because we speak the truth. You know, we've lost that ability because they have misguided us with religion. You know. So anyway, to do with history, and this time here in 2020, how we have to rise up as Africans. Forget about African history. Forget about what you call it, history from the 1800s. No, black history. No, forget about that. That's not going to help us anyway. You know, it's not going to help us. What we must do, is understand who we are. Right? It's a simple example. We all have one thing in common. It's there with us. It's free. We have it right now. We have it with us right now. Do you know what it is?
Life itself, at a guess?
Itself, yes, and we have something else, which is an abundant in us. It's called your skin, melaskin. Your melaskin, melanin. You know, melanin?
Yes.
Right. So we need to start teaching the youth about the powerful effects of melanin, because we have it with us now. So there was a book published in Latin. It was one of the thickest books in the whole world. It was just on the subject of melanin. You know? If you would read a book, it would take you 5 years to finish reading it. It's just on melanin. So melanin, the key. These Europeans, they know the secret of melanin, but they're not telling you. They will tell you black history and African history. Most African people don't even know their history past the 1200s. They don't know, because they were all absorbed underneath deception. You know? Yes, so they are all misguided. They don't know. So what we must do now, which is practical, is learn the power of your skin.
Wow.
You can do. Yes, because we are a perfect example of nature. Because if nature was to be a human being, it would be us.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So melanin is in everything. It's in nature. Everything we know. Even Caucasians have melanin. Yeah, but we are the proper connectors. We are the originators. You know, and the power lies within our skin. But we must, we must heal. We must purge all those corruption in our spirit and get back to the roots. You know, get back to our original spirituality, which means divesting from Abrahamic religions. You know, get rid of them. Then once you get rid of them, study melanin. What is good for? What is that? What do you have to eat? So that means you have to change your diet, your lifestyle, everything has to change. You know, once you study the science of melanin, you will become like what they call God. Yeah? You will become that. It's what they are hiding from you, my family. They don't want you to know about melanin. Melanin is a serious study. The Europeans been doing it for thousands of years. That's why they are ahead. Yeah? But what they do, they haven't got it in abundance. They have to extract it. Yes? They extract it from us. We feed them. You know? And because we are ignorant of ourselves, yes, we just go and say, oh, please, give us repertory justice. To who? Take it back. Know yourself. Once you know yourself, automatically they can't touch you.
Wow.
And it's free. It's free. It's just you being disciplined and living a very holistic life. That's all it is. It's not hard. Study melanin. Teach the children about melaskin. Melaskin is very important. So, you know, this is how we move forward. We cleanse, you know, we heal, we repair, you know, by understanding. Because you have melanin, it's you are melanin. So study it. They have the books in the library, you know, and it's very practical too. You can use practical, and it's knowledgeable and it's practical. You can apply it, you can use it, you know. It's very good. Do it. Then you can see. But before you do all that, you have to accept that you have been fooled. Divest from Abrahamic religion, from all kind of European concepts. And, you know, we are not like them. We are not like them at all. We are different. You know, and I hear a lady, Sister Mayo, saying Chinese people come from Africa. That's all lie. That's all Darwinism. Yeah, don't believe Darwinism. Darwinism is rubbish. Yeah, it's rubbish for the African. But if you compare it to the European and non-Africans, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so Darwinism is good when you compare it to the origins of non-Africans. But we Africans did not come from apes. So Chinaman did not come from Africa. They need to stop all that lies. Yeah, oh, the first humanity, blah blah. No, the out of Africa is a deception to make you think that everybody is from Africa. No, everybody is from where they are. They've always been there. Yeah, and so all these black scholars that say there was black people in Europe and all that. Listen, my friend. Everybody in this world except the African has ape DNA. You know?
Ape DNA.
Ape DNA, yes.
Oh, 8. The number 8.
Ape, not eight, ape.
Ape, like the monkey, the big monkey, ape.
Yeah.
Except the African.
You're seeing today, my sister, not the ape you're seeing today. The ape that I'm talking about is a like upright ape. Like you know, you see in a movie Planet of the Apes.
Yes, the Europeans they do say that they evolved from apes. These must be the Neanderthals. What the Neanderthals might have looked like.
They say the whole world evolved from apes. That's what they say.
Well, them, yes. They.
Yeah, but what they don't understand is Africans did not evolve from apes.
No, we come from the earth.
Yeah, they come from the earth too. You have to understand they are creatures of the earth. Because you don't understand yourself, you call them demons. Hey, you have to understand yourself. They are from Mother Earth too, because they come from apes. You know? So this we don't understand. Once you understand yourself, you understand them. But you have to study your melanin. It's very, very vital in the time that we are in. You know? Because we are going to the Aquarian age, means it's the age of enlightenment.
Yes.
We are just coming out of the age of deception. So all you're going to see is unravelment of the deception. Yeah? Truth is going to come up to expose all the lies that is there. You know? So this is the time to understand who you are by your melanin. Study your melanin. It's so simple. Yeah? You will see the benefits of it. Every day of your life, you will rise up. You will vibrate. You know? Your frequency will be in tune with the Mother Earth. You know? The Mother Earth is waiting for us. But because we are so ignorant, you know, we have to do the work now. Yeah? And it requires severe discipline. You know? Discipline. And we have to start thinking right, because right now we are all literal thinkers. You know, the African naturally is a philosopher. Yeah? You philosophize truth, yeah, but you use science and mathematics, yeah, in your logical daily endeavors. Science and mathematics is your daily endeavor. That's it. You know, so I'll leave you with this, yeah. Family, study your melanin. It's very important if you are African. Change your ways and change your mind, and you will see the grand, you will see the grand joy of who you are. You will see it in yourself.
Wow.
You know, you will see it in yourself. So live a healthy life and think right.
Before you go, my brother, I'm sure some of our listeners will have questions for you. I do have a question. I mean, you've just opened up, you know, for many of us, a whole new school of thought, you know, not completely new, but in terms of the way that you've contextualized it, I think it's new. And, you know, so I'm sure there's lots of questions. But one of the questions I'd like to ask is, whilst we're, you know, focusing on ourselves and studying our melanin and, you know, getting to the place of the realization of the power of our melanin, there are those demons out there, you know, whose mission, it seems to be, is to kill and destroy us. You know, so how can we ignore, you know, the destruction that is on our heels while we study, my brother?
Okay, very good question, my sister.
And then I'll bring in others after to ask you questions as well. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, and with this, you know, where do you call home?
Yes, good question. You know, the place I've found to be most at home is in Africa, but I know home is in my skin.
Yes, you're home everywhere, but your natural environment is Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what you have to do, look back home now. What is happening at home?
Mm-hmm.
You've left home, yeah? You just went on holiday,
Mm-hmm.
yeah? So you're looking back at your home. What it seems to be happening there now? You know, we have a lot of little confused people in charge, right? How did they get there? Those people in charge, how did they get there? They got there by the people that you're calling demons. They put them there, right? Yeah. Those people they look like you, but they are in charge of your home. You know. Then you know the character of the people you call demons because you live with them for a very long time, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. You know that they don't like you. You know that they don't respect you. Whatever you say to them, and you have been saying for almost 100 years or whatever, they're still doing the same thing, right? Yes, no? Right? Okay. But at home, your home, yes, they put people in there that look like you, and these people are mistreating your home. What do you do? You go home, tell your brother, tell your uncle, tell your sister, what is happening? Get them out. Then once you organize yourself and put pressure on these little confused castrated men and women, or whatever you call it, ruling us, you put pressure on them. Use the right and avenue, you know, diplomatically if you have to or whatever, but they have to know that you're back now. Yeah, and you can't go up because they are just working for the people that you're calling demons, right? So what that's gonna create is gonna create a schism, yeah, where the demon will come and say, hey, what is going on here? You see? So what, are you coming to defend my uncle that has been retreating? Then when that happens, it reveals to the whole world what they've been doing all along. You understand? Yes. So that's the exposure. It will expose them for what they've been doing, and it will expose those people as well who've been colluding with them. Because they will have to come for their interest. You know? They will have to come. Because the land is what they want. They want the land. The people on it, they don't respect the people on it. Yeah? If they had a way, they'd probably kill all the people on that continent. If they had a way. But they can't do that because they've tried that very long time, and you know, we just keep springing up.
Yes.
Because we are the natural.
Yeah.
Yeah? We are the natural. We're not hybrids. We didn't come from apes. We are natural. Yeah? So that's why they can't get rid of us. You know? Our DNA is super, super, super DNA.
Yeah.
It's super. It's that super, more super. It's like what people call God. That's the DNA we have. That's why they can't wipe us out. Yeah. But they will try. Yes. They'll try using other people that look like you. Those are the people you need to look at, my sister, because these people, when you rise, they will be like ants to you. You won't hit people. We don't do that. We don't kill nobody. But they, because of the way they are, intrinsically, they are fearing the day that we rise. So they will think we'll do what they did to us. No. We won't do that. But they don't know that. They don't. They only study our good bits, but they don't know how we relate that to everything. You know? So they think that we're also going to be barbaric because we have lived with them for so many years. We took on their ways, you know? We took on their ways. You know, so that's the answer to your question. Whilst you're doing your study of yourself, be very logical. Yeah, deal with them in a common sense manner. They will respect you that way. Yeah, don't be very humble towards them. Yeah, be very logical towards them. Yeah, whatever they tell you, look at it several ways, scrutinize it. You understand? Yeah, and come properly to them. They will stand up and listen now. But they think you're very naive and. Your spirit is misguided. They know that. So that's why they are getting over you, you know. But once you get your spirit back, they will fear you, you know. And you will be in a position of like, yes, I'm the boss now, you know. But it has to be a collective thing. But it starts with individual, you know. So, yes, if you have any organizations that are doing whatever and knocking on their doors or whatever, no, you can still do that anyway, but focus your attention back home because these people are really ruining it for us. You know, let's organize and go back home. That's what they want. They want the land. And we're here telling them to give us justice. Are you joking? You know, they want the land, and you know what we call home. They want it for themselves, you know. And we are here telling them we want justice. We're not serious. We can do that if you want to. Just carry on, but the main focus should be home.
Yes.
Okay.
To protect our home and our resources. Let me bring in a couple of callers. I've had quite a few text messages that have come in, my brother. People very interested in what you've been saying, my brother. Let me bring in Brother Zizwe, who has been, I think, listening intently on the line. Brother Zizwe.
Yes. Let me start out by saying what Brother Dad said earlier about Carter G. Woodson, about minds of men. And, you know, I always like to say that Marcus Garvey said, once you free the minds of men, you free the bodies of men. I take issue with the idea about some of the ideas that was put forth. If you check mitochondrial DNA, all human beings have to go back to Africa. What makes one's nationality is not necessarily saying that everybody comes from Africa. Our history and culture is what decides, and our historical experience is what determines our nationality. Robert Sobukwe, the great leader of the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, South Africa, says that there's only one race, the human race. Those of us in the revolutionary Pan-African movement, Pan-African organizations, would agree with that. Because what we have to decide is, are there certain people who we exclude outside the human race, or are all people part of the human race? And we say it's true. The latter is true, despite the fact that people take aspects of African culture and use it for their own benefit, even to the point where people use aspects of African culture to invade and destroy Africa. So I have issue with some of these things about who is the enemy. Is it the Europeans? I would say no, not as a whole. If you look at what's going on today, the idea of Black Lives Matter, after what our people have been through with police brutality and the snakes and around the world, certain ideas have caught on so well to the point where it not only affects African people, but it affects people of all nationalities. So as a result, you see what's going on. There's rebellion by who we call the enemy, which is the anti-people's class. And those are the small few who control the resources that dominate the world at this point. So what we do is we take what you call a nation, class, gender analysis of things. And you'll find this information if you study Walter Rodney's book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And if you look into Sheikh Anta Diop's book, The African Origin of Civilization, you'll see evidence of African fossils everywhere, all over the earth, that gave rise to other peoples and other cultures to confirm the fact that there's one human race. Also, like I said, if you check the mitochondrial DNA of all peoples, you go back to, in fact, the Sans people in what we call South Africa have the oldest DNA on earth. And that's why, like the sister said, you know, you look like you're Chinese. You look at the Sans people, the Chinese people's genes evolved from the Sans people, and therefore you see similarities in terms of look. So what I'm trying to get you all to see is that anthropology confirms a lot of the things that we've been saying about the human race, in terms of finding fossils, in terms of mitochondrial DNA, etc. And that does not dispute the fact that Africa is one nation of people, and then you got Europeans and other nationalities that are different nations based on their history and culture. Because once you have a people struggling in a certain particular land, they develop a history. And what we say, Sekou Touré says, culture is everything that the people create. And of course, African people have created many things. And we have to go to our history and culture to understand exactly what our people have produced and what we've been through in terms of why Africa was able to be penetrated and divided. I think he said something about we didn't have armies. Now, I remember Hannibal. I studied about Hannibal. He went in and invaded Europe, and he changed the whole culture and climate in Europe. And of course,
That's
we had
correct.
armies way back in the day. So, you know, we just have to understand our struggle by studying our history and culture. And there's no problem with recognizing the fact that there's one race, the human race. It's just that we have to put things in the proper perspective. And this is what ideology does. Because one of the fundamental aspects of our ideology is humanism. That all people are humans. And that all people have, there's no inferior culture and there's no superior culture. But we know that Africa's history and culture has been distorted, and it's a matter of reinterpreting our history by going into our culture and studying our great theoretical and practitioners such as Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Patrice Lumumba, and many others who have written documents, W.E.B. Du Bois. It's just that we're taught in these school systems that dominate the earth to ignore those, but pay attention to the European scholars entirely way too much of what they said about our history and culture.
Rise up, brother Zizwe.
Be on the show. I have to leave in a few minutes.
Okay, well, we will come back to the discussion about one race being the human race, because there's a couple of schools of thoughts on that, and it would be good for us. You know, it's important, it's imperative that we have that discussion, really, because it forms the foundation, really, of everything, you know, of our thinking, you know, our entire ideology. So that is such an important discussion that we need to have. But Brother Zizwe, thank you so much for locking in.
Yeah.
And I know you're 5 hours behind, so you probably have to do the school run or something now. So we'll let you go. But thank you.
Thank you very much. All the people who participated today in the audience too.
Rise up.
Thank you.
Rise up, my brother. Lots of text messages coming in. I'll just read a couple of the text messages and then I'll go back to the phones. This text message says, generally you fight fire with water. Okay, goes back to the earlier discussion. He says, generally you fight fire with water. Where you use fire to fight fire, it must be used with carefully applied knowledge of how fire works, i.e. a controlled fire is started ahead of a fire in relation to wind direction in order to burn off the fuel that feeds the fire. So strategy is important there. And the next text from the same sender says, losing heart in the battle happens when our opposition is so weakened that they intensify their attack to try and get us to give up. Now is the time we can make some real advances. Take heart, the Wizard of Oz. Yes, a withered old white man with a megaphone behind a curtain. Keep going. And then another question is, who has the O negative blood type? Who has the O negative blood type? Interesting question there. I believe it's only the Africans, isn't it? I think all the others have other blood types. That should be a big clue, isn't it? Are any of the callers in the group able to answer that question from a medical perspective? Who has the O negative blood type? Okay, let me go to some of the other questions there. Maybe someone can call in with the answer to that question. This one says, can he recommend a Melanin book to read? So, yes.
There's a simple one, a very simple one, but the great Lela Africa, you know. Yeah, Dr. Lela Africa. He's got a book on melanin, you know. It's a very simple book. You can get it on Amazon. It's only like that, 5, 6, 7 pounds or something like that, you know. Yes. So they can get that. Tell them to get that, yeah?
Brilliant. So there's a book on melanin for everyone to get by Lela Africa. And I know that our Dr. What's this called? Mama Nasir and Dr. I can't remember his name's just gone out my head, her husband, they've done a book, Spicy Tasty Vegan, and it's got a section in there on melanin as well, and it talks about the power of melanin. And I know we've touched on melanin on our Health for Life course, which is when I realized to some extent the power of our melanin. Melanin is in the universe. Melanin is in the earth. Melanin is what makes the tree, the flowers, the grass, and the food grow. You know, without melanin in the earth, there would be no life. Melanin is life itself. It's a life force itself. And to hear this brother talk about the need for us to understand our melanin and the power of the melanin, it's just stirring up something inside of me. And but we will come back to this some more. This one says, best caller yet. This man speaking on our mela skin. Fire. Rise up, Sister Anoa. Sister Win is logged in as well from Ghana. Going to go over to her message. And it says, the brother is on point on every level. Yes, rise up yourself, Sister Win, and thank you for locking in from Ghana. And this text message sender says, Melanin, speak, great man, great words, speaker. So someone from Florida there enjoying the contribution that you've been making to the show, my brother. Okay, I know we have Elder Des on the line. Let me bring in Elder Des to make a few comments and then land so that we can open up the line for other callers. Coming back, Brother Des, please.
Rise up, Empress Janice.
Rise up, my brother.
Yes, I just wanted, I jot a few notes down while my brother earlier on was talking about melanin. And he mentioned something about the zodiac. Now, the zodiac could be summed up as water, wind, earth, and fire. In terms of the Alexander invading Africa under the Ptolemies, basically, he was put in his place by Queen Candace, who he tried to enter Nubia, but Queen Candace met him, mounted on her elephant and her elephant battalion, and Alexander withdrew because he was afraid of being beaten by a woman. Now, in terms of the melanin, I've looked into some of that, and Akhenaten, one of the pharaohs of Kemet, was one of the first to recognize the link between the sun and the people. And he acknowledged the sun as the center of the universe, long before Copernicus in the 16th century. Now, in terms of melanin, there are three things that I think that is linked directly to melanin. And that is fire, hair, and God. Because the first God on this earth were black. And your hair signifies a certain communication signal. We used to talk about the hair rising on the back of our heads. And that is because it was a signal of danger. Your hair could give you a signal of danger. The Greeks imitated that with a fictional character called Medusa, where they had this character with locks fighting all around the place. Now, melanated people built the pyramid, and the first three letters of the pyramid is Pyra. Pyra is fire. So the pyramids are actually fire temple. And they are the only people that are the precursor to building the pyramid. Yet you find in Eastern Eurasia and in South America temple worshipping the fire without any precursor. So they could not have built them out of thin air. So this is all I have to say on that one. And in terms of the demons, demons can only live in the minds of subservient people who have been taught to obey. Christianity and Islam tenet teaches people to obey. And in obeying, demon is able to control you. Because a demon cannot live in the mind of those who question. Because in questioning, the saying goes, you destroy God. But enlightenment comes through knowledge. And knowledge comes by questioning. And also not just questioning, but questioning the answers. Now, in terms of winding down, I give thanks to the ancestor and to Galaxy Fury and to all the Melanin people out there. You have an unconquered spirit. And when that spirit is connected to the now, there is nothing that you cannot achieve. I have proven that in my own life. I should have been dead by now, but I'm still here. And I intend to carry on until my time on this journey is finished. And no man on this planet can take it, because the ancestors give me the power to protect myself and to protect minds. So, voodoo power to everyone, and Galaxy Afuri, the only de-brainwashing station. Honor and bless the effort of everyone.
Rise up, my brother. Thank you so much for your contribution and your input on the show so far today. It's been very enlightening, very informative, yes, and Sister Zebi would say, and we love it. Rising up yourself. Thank you, my brother, Elder Des.
For now and forever.
Yes, more voodoo power, I agree. And keep rising for now and forever. Yes, the words of our sister there will be ringing through us here on the Big G henceforth. Thank you so much. Okay, Brother Des has given way, so the lines are now open. We still have our brother on the line, and I don't know how long we've got him for, but, you know, he's opened up such an interesting and insightful school of thought that, you know, if possible, I would love for him to remain, you know, on the line so that we can just have a bit more of a conversation, you know, on the power of our melanin and how we as a people, you know, need to be you know, getting in tune with our melanin, which is the key, you know, to our power. Wow. And you know, our brother was saying, you know, forget history, forget everything else. What we need to be concentrating on is the power of our melanin and who we are. And we are consciousness. We are consciousness in skin. We are all power, all almighty in skin. And it's our melanin, our super DNA, you know, that we need to be concerning ourselves with, because once we realize the power of our melanin, then those who we are seeing today as all powerful and as almighty will be like ants under our feet. Let me bring back our brother to enlighten us some more from his you know, school of thought.
Yes, sister, gratitude very much from the family, you know. But I was listening to the last two callers, Brother Des and Zedwig from America, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, I was really in pain listening to them, you know. No disrespect to none of them, you know. No disrespect to none of them, you know. I have a lot of respect for them, but, you know, that history that they're talking about is so rubbish. I mean, it's pseudo, you know. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, we have to get rid of those. This is why I say, you know, people haven't got time to be doing history and doing the cross-reference and all that. So, you know, for those people, that's why I said to them, just concentrate on your melanin, you know. Yeah, if you haven't got the time to do historical research and all that, yeah, it's because you're, you know, in this time we're in, it's a little bit too late anyway. So just concentrate on melanin for now. But the ones that want to deal with history, you know, they have to come with the correct facts now. You know, because those old misguided history has to go away now. I remember Dr. Abu calling me, said, I'm young blood. Yes, I'm young blood, bringing a freshness, the correct truth, because I say to people, right, they say truth, it's my truth, it's a truth. Okay, truth could be subjective, subjective to the person, right, but real truth, authentic truth, truth is, when you apply natural law, the universal law, to anything that is said to you, it has to be logical. It has to make common sense. When you apply the natural law, once you get that, if it makes sense, then that's the truth. You understand? Right? Everything that would the Brahma said does not make any sense if when I apply the natural law to it. It doesn't make any sense.
Elaborate some more, because there are many of us who you're speaking to right now, my brother, and we've been studying different aspects of our history, because we know that we are a people who have come a mighty, mighty long way. We've been on a journey for hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of years. So our DNA goes back millions of years. So we know we have a history. And we know that we've encountered, different people along the way, different experiences, so we do have a history. But you're saying, to those of us who have been studying our history to try and get an understanding from our history about who we are, you're suddenly saying, throw that all away. So, Brother Des was recounting some of our history, and you're saying that's not important. So we need you to elaborate now and, give us more of an insight into what you're saying, please.
Right. Okay. The reason why some people might take offense to what I'm saying is because they are all literal thinkers. Because their spirit is misguided. This is one thing we tend to forget, For you to understand what I'm saying, you have to have an African spirit, an original African spirit, Because I said we Africans, naturally, we are philosophers, And every philosopher is a logical thinker, right? So who people we have been trained, by logical people, to be literal thinkers. Should I say that again? We have been educated by logical people, thinking people, so automatically we become literal thinkers, very brainwashed in a sense, right? Just let me give you a small example, before let's just take it to a timeline, a timeline where the slave trade started with the Portuguese, right? Right. Let's just say that was the first time they saw. The second time, another type of European came in the form of Portuguese, right? Then we go, the Dutch, the German or the British, the French, when they came, I said, okay, let's concentrate on the British because, we're speaking English right now, so it's the British, the British Empire, the slave, the Atlantic slave trade. When they came in, right, the people that they took away, they couldn't speak English. Those people they couldn't write, they couldn't read, but they were very wise people. They were very intelligent people, right, at that stage. So they took all the strong people. They took them to wherever, the Caribbean, the Americas, and they treated them very badly, Then what they did, they did something like crossbreeding them, and so the second generation that came after the first one that they got kidnapped, they were indoctrinated differently from the original stock. It's like selective breeding, So they went through all this process, just new generation coming. So by the time they reach, let's just say, to the 1900s, you have a whole different generation of descendants of enslaved Africans. They don't know anything about their past, right? All they know, they was born and yoked into English and English culture. That's all they know. It's no fault of their own. It's just the way the system works. So their mind and everything is already geared up to be a literal thinker. Because these logical thinkers, they got the science from our ancient people. So they know how to manipulate your way of thinking before you're even born, because they do it to your parents. So before you're even born, your parents give you that default, the way, to think backwards.
Right.
Think not of yourself. So it comes through your DNA already. So you're born with it. That's why you can't naturally just see what I'm telling you, because your mind is been how do I put it? It's just not in balance. You know, it's in chaos. But because of the illusion, you think you're proper. You know, so they consolidate that with money. So a lot of us have money. We think we are okay, but really, we are in chaos because of the way we came. You know, how they made us come. You know. So anyway, so then what they've done, for you not to know yourself, they created alternative history, for the diasporans, the descendants of the enslaved Africans. You know, white people created a new narrative, a new history, of whatever went on in the biblical geographical landscape and everything, and then gave it to diasporan Africans to learn. There was a certain group, you know, like Carter G. Woodson and Chancellor Williams, that era, you know, they didn't like what was going on because it was too Eurocentric for them. You know? So they dug deep. They were the first people to enlighten themselves. You know, the spirit came onto them. So they went a bit further. That's where, you know, they started to tap into the African essence and everything. But by then, Egyptology was already an institution by the European. You know, Egyptology is a concept of European. It's an ideology of European. That's their way of understanding what our ancient people were. You know, there's going to be a lot of misconception and falsehood in there, right? So let us argument sake. So people like Chancellor Williams and G. Woodson and all the elk of those, Sheikh Anta Diop, you know, Ivan Santama, Dr. Ben, all of them, majority of them were Christians, Baptist Christians. So their spirit is not really in alignment already, But they were very knowledgeable, like scholarly, they were very knowledgeable. But they subscribed to only the information that was already there for them, which, unfortunately, it was from the Europeans, you know?
I hear what you're saying. I just want to pop in defense of Sheikh Anta Diop. I think it was Sheikh Anta Diop. He was the one who did his own anthropological research, because at the time when he came in, they were trying to argue that the Egyptians were Europeans. I think the Europeans have conceded on that argument now. And yes, they were trying to whitewash Egypt and all of Egypt's achievements and claim it as their own. But our scholars, you know, got in there in time to be able to tell us the truth. And that was an important key, really, in helping us to understand that there is more to us.
My sister, that's not an argument we even have. This doesn't make any sense at all. You have diasporan and European arguing about if the Egyptians were black or white. But we have Africans on the continent. Come on. That does not make no sense.
Yeah.
So the Europeans are just messing with your brain. That's what they're doing. It's obvious African people, you know, it's the agreement we are ancestors built it. You know, so it's not.
Yes, and we can confidently claim that now. But, you know, with the Europeans, like you say, they do mess with our brains. And so we do have to have conclusive evidence. And, you know, like you said, those scholars went in there and they did, you know, manage to write up in the books conclusive evidence to enlighten us, you know, especially those of us here in the diaspora who were totally lost and blinded as to who we were. These were important steps for us to take us back to our enlightenment. But I hear what you're saying about, you know, the need for us to get into our spiritual mind now so that we can begin to think logically rather than literally.
Yes.
And I've got a caller, I've got someone who wants to interject with you, my brother. So let me allow you to, I think there was 2 points that you wanted, a couple of points you wanted to respond to. I'd love to hear your response to the one race, the human race point as well, that our brother.
Yeah, that's a very long subject, you know, it will take our days. I can briefly just break it out, I'll give just a clue on to that. That whole, what that Jesu said is Darwinism, you know. This is what I'm saying, they have miseducated us. Gravely they have. What he was talking about, yes, we are all one human race, because we all look humans. We can breed with everybody, Yes, so that makes sense. Yes, we're human race. But, yes, genetically, we're not all the same. When you deal with the genes, the genetics, Africans are different from everybody else. You know?
Right.
So on the surface, we are all humans, yes, because we all interbreed with each other. Yes, but we all human. Yeah? But genetic, that's where the thing lies. We have to look at the genetic, the genes. You know, African genes is the most dominant. Yeah? It's the most powerful. It's the most connected to the universe and to nature. Naturally. It's not our fault. We were just made like that. You know? We just found ourselves like that. It's not our fault. So it's not about being egotistic or very, like, pompous. No. It's just the way you are. Yeah? So you have to understand that. Yes, we are all human on the surface, but genetic under the skin, we're not the same. And I remember him saying something about mitochondrial DNA. Yes, that's very important. Because the mitochondrial DNA is the cell that gives the blueprint to who you are. You understand? So, your mother, yeah, is who you are. You are your mother. Yeah? It doesn't matter if your mother goes with another race, you are still your mother. You see, we've been misguided very greatly because you have patriarchs, yeah? Patriarchs with dogmatic, you know, indoctrination or doctrines, yeah? They put themselves on the pedestal, you know, because before it was our mothers that were ruling. And if they didn't feel like it, they would just push their sons to rule, yeah? But the son became so stubborn. Yeah, now he's on top. You know, he's on top. It's the age we're in. It's the consciousness. Because every man thinks they're bigger than woman. They're missing the point. Women have the strength and the power. You know, we are just operating under ego, so we don't understand ourselves as men. Yeah, when they come on, no. The mitochondrial DNA is who you are. It makes you. Yeah, so whoever your mother is, you are that. No matter what the father is, you are that. Yeah, so Africans are not the same genetically as them. And so I will leave it there for the human origins. But if he ever comes back again, I will probably come and explain more. But
Yes.
no,
Yeah.
we've been misled. We've been told a lie.
I would welcome you to come back and break it down for us in even more detail. But for now, let's go to caller 938. Greetings, caller 938. Who do we have on the line?
Greetings, sister.
Greetings.
Yes, I wanted to interject with the gentleman that left a while ago, yeah?
He's still on the line. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. Yes, the gentleman said that, people that went to slavery, they couldn't read, they couldn't write. That is a very, very big mistake, okay?
I think he meant English.
No, he was saying that people that went to slavery, most of them couldn't read and couldn't write. Not English, but most of them, they were just like illiterate. But he said that most of the people that went to slavery, most of them they were illiterate. But it's not true, because people that went to slavery, all of them, most of them, they were coming from that area of the West African coast of the Sahara. So most of them, they were Muslim. Most of them, they were able to write. Even before slavery, they found in Dominica some writing of the ancient Ghana empires that were like a Libyan writings. That Christopher Columbus, when they find those writings in there before slavery, because the black man was traveling in the area a long time ago. So that is just to show him, like, people that went to slavery, most of them, they were smart. Some of them, they were educated. Some of them, they were engineers. Some of them were mathematicians. Some of them, they were lecturers. Some of them, they were princes. Some of them were kings. So as a black man, to stay like that, I don't accept that one day, So now, I don't want to argue on that, because we all know that, people that went to slavery, most of them, they were smart people. They were not dumb. They were not fools. People that came to Africa, those people, they were the fools. The fools came to Africa, to slave smart people. It's the opposite. People that came to Africa, like the Portuguese, they were not smart. They were idiots, and drunkhead. They were just lucky to come to our place having a gun. That's it. There's nothing else. It's not because they were smarter than us. We were smarter than them. That's why they come to slave us. Okay. All right. Let's move on now on the DNA thing and the melanin thing. Melanin, we in Galaxy for the last 30 years, with the brother Ella Kuti, we have studied melanin a long time ago, before the gentleman came here. The gentleman that came a while ago, he doesn't know that this station here, people that listen to Galaxy, some of them, they've been studying the black man history for 30, 50 years, more than 1,000 of years. People like Shanti Job, that he's saying, like, they will brainwash all that by the European education. He doesn't know them. He doesn't know who is Shanti Job. Shanti Job is not a Christian. Shanti Job is a Muslim who is born in a cleric family where his great one of his granddad is the founder of Islam in Senegal. They call Sheikh Hamadou Bamba. he's from that lineage there. So he's not even a Muslim like a Muslim who just like, as if he's born in a family that is a cleric Muslim. He's done about Islam in the area. So that guy there, you know, he chose to go for the African spirituality and analyze our history and put away that kind of the brainwash of Islam that he had. He put that on the side. When he was young, his granddad asked him, "What do you want in life?" He said, "The granddad, I want to know. I want to have knowledge of science and mathematics, and know anything about the world." The old man called him, you know, and spark on his head. He said that your mind is open. A man like Science, you know, who was a scientific, a nuclear scientific, you know, and talk about logic. The man is a scientific. He's a scientific. So, and a mathematician. He got a PhD in math and science. So that guy, you talk about logic about that man, and say that this man, you know, that you know logic more than him. The guy has a laboratory in Senegal at the university in there. You know, he had a science. He used carbon X to check the bones and check the history of mankind. And you come here and say that this guy here, all that, you know, you have to forget about all that. For you to come and say that, you know, it's an insult, you know, to our race, because we are African people. But Africa is big. Africa is a big place. So Africa is not one unit. Some African, you know, when they advance, when they have knowledge, some other African, you know, they're lagging behind. You have two Africans. You have African in order and African that were behind. When the Europeans came to Africa, they found two Africans. One in the Sahara is very advanced. We know about Musa, Kanka Musa. We know about the king of Mali that went to the Caribbean in 1325, all that, you know. It's not happening in the middle of Africa at that time. You had kingdoms, and you have empires. In the empire, the black man, they were more into that kind of oneness. Even today, you know, if you see Africa today, you know, look at Africa today, you know, and look at the middle of Africa, where you have civil war, all that, anything. Some places, they don't know those kind of things. It's not part of the culture, because the culture is based on in an empire where they're not tribalist. So this guy, you know, when he speaks like that, you know, he's talking in a way that, you know, it's Africa like African all having the same way of seeing things. No, it's not like that. People in Africa, we know that our ancestors, even though we're all African people, you know, we didn't grow the same way. Some people, you know, they are disciplined. Some people didn't have no discipline. And today in Africa, you can see it in the continent in there. Some children, they were in order, and some children, they were in disorder. And today, you know, it's still the same. Okay? So in Africa, you know, even though we love ourselves, all that, we try to be one people, you know, in our mind, we don't grow up the same way. And we think a different way. For the guy to say that, you know, our history, we have to forget about history. No. We can't forget our history, man. We're historians. I'm a historian. He doesn't even know that I'm a historian. That's why I live to this. The way he's speaking, you know, that's what the white man want for us to forget. We can't forget our history. We know who we are. We are great people. Melanin is not a problem. We know about melanin. We know that melanin, you know, is something that is nature. We know that already. We are people that can dance. We have vibration. We can dance. We can sing. We can run. All that is melanin. This is not new. This guy was saying it. What people, you know, they think as a big thing. This thing, you know, is been broken down thousands, you know, by everybody. Even Abdul, he always say about melanin. Everybody knows about Africa when it comes to the station here. He talk about melanin. So these things are not new on us. We know that melanin is power. But what the Europeans have done is to kill our melanin by killing our mind. Because our mind is so killed that we don't even have respect for our people. We try to put them down. All these people like John Henry Clark, they spent about 80 years of their life looking at our history. And this gentleman comes and says, we have to forget and move on. Saying that the Chinese, the Africans, all that. We know that the black man, you know, one time, you know, we're the only on this earth. Nobody denied that. One time, you know, we went for a ride. We went to China. We went to Singapore. You know, we went to Indonesia. We went to Europe. We went to America. We went everywhere. So to say that people, you know, they don't have our DNA, it's nonsense. Because the black man, you know, he is a man who's fertile. Anyway, we put our seed, we grow. So even though when we went to those places, we put our seed there. So our seed, you know, it's our seed that become what we see today as the rest of the mankind. And even though, you know, they are racist to us, you know, they know themselves that they come from the black man. Today, you know, nobody denied that. Last time, you know, showing in England, where St. Muslim was coming as a black man from Rome. He became the emperor here. So those things, you know, it's history, it's the truth. We can't forget about those things. It's reality. Melanin, you see, melanin is good for our, but this gentleman shouldn't ask us to forget about history and say that our answer that Africa, they were not educated. No, that's ego. We have to bring that ego there. It's an African proverb. They say, a man, when you talk few and listen more. In Galaxy, a lot of people talk a lot, and they don't listen. Sometimes in Galaxy, you know, people, they have to be careful. People that listen to people talk on the radio. Everybody's not, we people that touch the radio, you know, some of them, they speak French. You know, some of them went to university, you know, some of them, even when I was in university, you know, Senator Job was my lecturer in my first year. So I know him personally because he was my lecturer. So honestly, for a gentleman to come here, he doesn't know the man. He never saw him. He said that this boy, they were brainwashed by paternalism. No. In Africa, we are matriarchal. Matriarchal. If you go to Senegal, where Shisham is coming from the whole of people, they come straight from Egypt. Okay? Go and check their name and go and check the name and the language they speak. And go and find the language of Egypt in the whole of. So Shisham, is a man who come from the lineage of the paternalism. We don't know that in Africa. In our country, in Senegambia, where we come from, we respect the matriarchal part. If you have cow, if you die away, the cow they go to your nephew from your sister. They don't go to your son. If the king die, the king's son will not be a king. It's the son of the elder sister that become a king. The gentleman is lost. Maybe from Nigeria, or maybe from Congo, or maybe from South Africa. Remember, in Africa, the Sahara has a history that is a great...
Yeah, my brother who's speaking, if you can... My brother who's speaking... just had a call from a listener. If you could speak a little slower, because
I stammer.
Yeah, sorry about that. Just so that everyone can hear every word of what you're saying. I mean, I got the gist of a lot of what you were saying there, and you was defending Sheikh Anta Diop and his works, and the other great historians that have put John Henry Clark.
All of them, they did some great work.
And those that have done some great works.
Mm-hmm. Now we know ourselves more to those people there. So for him to come to forget our history is our brother.
So you're speaking against the idea.
You are nobody. That's why people, they can kill us on the street like a chicken and sit our neck and kill us like a goat because we don't have no history, because we don't have no reference, because we don't know who we are. That's why people are taking the peace. Okay? So it's time now not to stand as a man and tell people our history that when we were on this earth, nobody was here. When we have shoe and have a house, the European, they walk with 4 legs, living in cave and smelling and eating bats and pigs. Okay? We were not the same people at that time. But even though we are today a loser in a lot of things, our mind is coming back. It's time for us to stand as people and stop pretending and being coward. Because there's a lot of coward here. A lot of telecommunication, the inside the black place, they think after that, everybody is a coward. You make a big mistake. Some black man here, me talking to you on the phone. I'm the only black man here that went to stand up here and crash the place there. Go and check yourself and tell them Samba. They said that this man here, they come, ask them, who was the first man that come and destroy it and pass them, inside the town of Peckham there in 2005. And I'm from Africa. No Caribbean, and then go to Castle and beat up and fight against the MP in the Castle there. I beat the ass there. Me talking to Samba here. I used to be a community warden. I stood as a man. If black bodies stand like that, as in Peckham there, today, we won't be the last in there. Because some of us, definitely because you are from Caribbean, you are more man than the man of Africa. Be careful, brother. The real world are here. They are here. Maybe sometimes, they can't speak English very good, and police mocking them. And brother Paul saying like, with accent. Accent means you are smart. The black man like me that have accent is smart because it's many languages. The smart man, you got accent. The accent shows if you have accent, you are smart. One language, you turn to a fool. That's why we black people,
Sorry, my brother. I had another caller on the line, so I'm sorry. My apologies. I've missed.
We have to be smarter than who we are, We're not foolish people, We are smart, we are lions.
Yes. Okay, my brother.
Bye.
Thank you so much. We've heard a very passionate, apologies for missing the last end of what you were saying there. We heard a very passionate appeal there, not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, basically, that all of the, our history is so important, and so are the historians that have been doing all of this important work selflessly for decades, so we have to, he's saying, remember all of that. So coming back, my brother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sister. Yeah, just to say to the family, I'm not here to sort of divide anyone, or try to tell anyone not to learn who they are. Yeah, when it comes to their history. What I'm trying to say is, all the scholars that we have in past, they were all European trained. Like, let's use Sheikh Anta Diop, for example. I rate the guy. I respect him very well. Yeah, but he's also under the premise that we came from monkeys. You know? That's what the European is saying as well. So where does that leave us? An African trained scholar also came to the same conclusion, that we came from apes. That's what he said.
You know what? I can't comment on that aspect of his work. Maybe someone else can call in and confirm or otherwise what you're saying there.
Anything different, you would have heard about it. Yes? If Anta Diop said anything different from what the Darwin is saying, you would have known about it. But you're hearing this for the first time. Do you understand? Yeah? So it's like with history or whatever, just chew the bone and spit out, chew the meat and spit out the bones, like they say, yeah? So all I'm saying is there's no such thing as African history. There's no such thing, because Africans never wrote a history about themselves. You know? This is the mistake we make, because we have over how many ethnic groups in Africa? There's loads of ethnic groups. They all got their own history. Yeah? Some of them have one that intermingles with other people. I mean, how are you going to know every ethnic African history? It's impossible. So then, Europeans are very smart. They just grouped one. They chose Egyptians and some, down the side. And they told you about that and told you that it's African history. I mean, hold on. You're telling somebody about great Zimbabwe history, and they assume it's African history, but you have a Ghanaian on that side, have their own history. How would you know? So there was no such thing as African history. This African history is a construct by European. You know? And they've created things and given it to the diasporans. Because I'll be honest with you, my sister, there are Africans on the continent who don't even know about all those pharaohs in Egypt. They don't know all that thing. All they know is their ancestors. Yeah? That's all they know. This Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, and all that all came to us by the diasporans. They told us about that. Yeah? You had scholars like Ashra Kwesi, Ray Higgins, and all. They all come to expeditions in Egypt. Yeah? They done the research. They told us about that. But prior to that, the average African didn't know about Akhenaten. Or didn't even have a pyramid existed there. So they didn't even know. But
and there's so much more to our history. In fact, there are pyramids all over Africa, even in South Africa, the southern region of Africa, which predates the pyramids in Egypt by about 150,000 years. There are more pyramids in Sudan also, I'm told, than even in Egypt. So our history is vast. Absolutely agree with you, my brother. And the vastness of our history and the depth of it is such. We couldn't even study it all in a lifetime. I mean, even the information that I've prepared today, which I'll bring in about 1 o'clock, which focuses on the names of our gods prior to the name of Jesus and Allah, we will find that there were, about 200 different nations in Africa, all with their own names for their gods. So, yes, let me bring in a couple of text messages. This one from Sister Wynn says, the first brother is saying knowing history alone is not enough, but knowing the composition of structure and importance of melanin in this now is paramount. When fully overs, melanin can work effectively with the cosmic energies from an African modality. Wow.
Absolutely. You have a very great example in your studios right now. He works there. I've heard of him. So I went on the internet and done a study with him. I study him. He's a doctor. He comes on every Thursday. He's a very great man. He's the example that we need to get to, as in terms of lifestyle. He's very disciplined, very regimental in his ways. That's what the African needs. If we have that type of man, like that type of elk with all of our men, we will automatically change the woman, so the woman will find her true place in this world. Because the men are very misguided.
That must be our Dr. Stevenson. Dr. Stevenson. So we need more Dr. Stevensons among us. Brother Abu says, Bookman Dutty, throw away the religion of the oppressors and free yourself. The only victory African have outside of Africa. He said the same thing Malcolm X was saying. Put away the oppressor's religion. We will never be free without our African spirituality. Malcolm X was a Muslim, but never say, let's use Allah. He comes to know of his African spirituality. Rise up, Dr. Abu.
The religion is the deception, you know, is the foundation of deception, is religion, you know. So don't listen to any African that tells you Christianity started in Africa. No, it's rubbish.
No, yes. This text message says, no, Anta Diop never said that we come from monkey. The pit down man from England was an orangutan. Darwin theory is European, not Sheikh Anta Diop theory of a monogenic origin of mankind.
So you need to ask that person, where did Uncle Diop said we come from then?
Yeah, let me read his text message again. I'm not sure if I read it right. It says, no, Anta Diop never said that we come from monkey. The pit down man from England was an orangutan. Darwin theory is European, not Sheikh Anta Diop theory of a monogenic origin of mankind. So a monogenic, so I think he's looking at genetics there.
Genetics, yeah.
Of our origin, but that the Europeans from an orangutan. I mean, when I look at the Europeans, they look to me more like they come from the pig, not the orangutan. They look like walking pigs. If they were cloned, if they used an animal to clone them, I would say it's a pig, just from my observation and of their behavior and their eating habits. But anyway, that's just me being really simplistic.
You know, there's a lot. You know, this subject alone about origin of humankind, it's very vast. You know, it's a lot. It will take very time. So we can't be talking about this for very long.
That's a lesson in itself. I'm going to have to take your number and we're going to have to organize to do a session on that, my brother. This text message sender says, Happy New Day, my sister. Stimulating program. We must not forget who we are. Our history has been whitewashed from time when the Europeans told the world at the time of the Renaissance. In reality, all black history was being erased from every battle, because each battle, war which took place throughout was always about us. The time is changing and we must change with the time. Rise up. That's from our sister Kath. And I've got another caller calling in. I've just added Blacknificent to the call. I think that's our Dr. Abu. Rise up, Dr. Abu. Oops.
Yes.
Rise up.
You know, rise up to the call of them, you know. And rise up to the brother that is on the line, you know. You know, Sister Shanice, we have to be honest with ourselves, yeah? The only victory we have as a people outside Africa is the 80 revolution, yeah?
What about the Jamaican, the Maroons?
No. Just leave that. Yeah?
All right.
You know, we just talk. You know, it's it. You know.
All right.
Just talk when you take over a country and run your own institution and things. Yeah. This is what that's victory. Now. You know.
Total victory.
How did he come to that victory? He said, "Throw away all of these oppressor religions." You understand? You know, and we come up back to another wonderful brother in Malcolm X, when him said, lock them away in the closet, because him realized, remember, you know, Malcolm X was a Muslim and he never said, let's all Allah. He said, put all of them away. I'm telling you, sis, you know, we will never see freedom if we're going to use these Abrahamic things them that enslave us. We can mobilize our people, but we cannot organize them properly under these things. And this is where we are here. All of the things then what we are looked on, and I call liberation, they are all entertainment. That's what they are, entertainment. Because my sis,
Yes, yes.
if we are in a time of war, yes, and we are not entertaining our troop, we use our entertainment to entertain in these people in their peacetime. They accommodate us, they tolerate us, but they don't support us. You know, see it. And we have to do for we, sis. And none of the things them that enslave us can free us. None.
We hear you, Dr. Abu. Hold it there. Let's allow our guest on the line. Let's allow our guest on the line to come back. Brother, unknown number, I've got you. I'll come back to you in just a moment.
Okay.
Okay, let me land, yeah? Let me land. Okay, doctor, the last doctor, voodoo doctor, right?
Yes. Voodoo, the voodoo man.
Yes, it's the truth. That's the absolute truth. You know, for us to be a people, we have to divest. You know, get rid of Abrahamic religion. That's the first step. You know, and you have to do that personally. You have to go within yourself, yeah, and accept that you've been fooled, yeah. So when you realize that now, you'll be standing on truth, yeah. So when you stand on truth, when you can see a lie when it comes to you, right? So that means you're operating from your natural spirit, your indwelling spirit, yeah. So to do that, you get rid of man-made, you're all man-made. So get rid of it. All right. So that's where we have to get to. Then study melanin. Yeah? If you want to study your history, there, your mom comes to study your history. But like I said, that history you're studying is very misguided. Okay? All right then. Thank you very much.
Rise up yourself. Brother Connect, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, apologies again. I'm sorting out my gift gaff number to call you on my normal number. I'm just having some problems with my other phone.
That's okay, my brother. What's the point that you'd like to make?
Rise up all the callers. Again, outstanding points, you know. I tried to look on the, you know, the forward, if you like, and upperness of the vibration, what's going on with now, you know. Rise up, Abu, rise up, the last caller, and magnificent. I just want to say, how are we using, as a question, how are we using our awareness and consciousness, elite thinking ability to produce extra significant structure and organization to our lives and to gain these tangible results, great results now and in the future? You know, Sista Shanice, brother, before Brother Jeff, you know, it'll be interesting to hear, you know, the brother before and Jeff, you know, aligning in terms of vocal, verbal, high speed of communication, you know, so just to chuck that in there. But, yeah, you have, you know, some competition, brother. So last point is whatever's man-made of theirs is not of ours. So give thanks to Zoom, yeah? Give thanks.
Voodoo, thank you, my brother. Bringing in caller 234.
Greetings and blessed, Sister Shanice. This is done this morning, this day. We say praises to our ancestor. We say Ludumari. We say Jarastafari. Kun kulu kun kun. Or Tep, praises be. Yes, my sister, I've been listening, and it is a great greetings to all the callers, our family, and it is absolutely our history, and we are interrogating and asking questions. And we need to. More so, I had received a prayer from Chief Amlak not too long ago this morning, and I wondered if I could play it because it is so powerful, and it's to do with, it's the beginning of the month, and he's in Africa. So I wondered if it can be, if I play it through.
Yes, my sis. Yes, that's fine. It's 12:45. I'm going to break the show at 1 p.m. And so, is it longer than 15 minutes?
No, not at all. I'm just going to...
Okay.
Now.
Yes, go ahead and play. Yes.
Blessed morning, Dr. Abu. Give thanks.
Yes, Dr. Abu's on the other line. Yes, he rise you up, my sis. Go ahead and play the clip for us, please, my sis.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Let me just get it right because I'm playing it and hold on a second.
That's okay. While you're doing that, I'll just read this text message. This one says, well, that concept must change and take up our true position as the Most High chosen people. There has been no toleration, only rage for several centuries. So this is caller 273 saying we need to take up our position as the Most High chosen people and no toleration. Okay, you ready now, sis?
I'm not sure if it can be played on speaker. I'm having trouble playing it on the...
Okay, it started okay. I heard the ringing of the bells. So it started, I heard the chiming.
Okay, hold on. Let's start it back. Okay, hold on.
Okay, so we got our sister who's going to bring us a July message from Chief Amlak. You coming through, sis? Mm-hmm.
It is.
Sister Shanice, I'll send it to you.
Okay, you got the message as well. Okay.
I'll send it to you on WhatsApp.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Abu. So my sis, don't worry yourself, yeah? Dr. Abu's going to message it to me on WhatsApp and I'll play it from there. Okay, can I give you a couple of minutes to just comment on what has been heard? Sorry, what has been said and what you heard?
Yes, my sister, it is so powerful. I just want to speak about what I received. I could not believe it. It's so powerful that I want to share it. And you know, it's in Africa. And when I hear the sound, Dr. Abu know what I'm saying. It is so powerful. It's not for me alone. It's for all of us. And I wanted to share it. Mm-hmm. My sister, I what I want to share. With all what's been said, and I'm thankful and I'm listening to our ancestors, I begin to recognize more so who we truly are. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I want to say is them bringing to me some understanding as to why do we think our nose are shaped the way they're shaped. Brothers and sisters, love yourself. Do you know why we have the shape of the nose we have? I love my flat nose. It is so powerful. But I have to get the message right and pass it to the elders before I can speak about it. It is so powerful. Why we have the DNA, the melanin in our skin and the shape of our face and the shape of our nose. We say, Ashe, Oludumare. It says all about we are the divines. We are connected to the divinity in such great ways that it is beyond our imagination and our understanding. And we are conquering, and I humble myself at the teaching. And I'm so pleased that I have returned back, because we believe in reincarnation. You know, they talk about reincarnation back home. That have come in this dispensation as an African, regardless of how the tribulations we have come, and those who have, ebony people who have suffered to let us come through, who our ancestors' places be, because many are in the waters of the ocean and upon the great lakes and rivers.
Here we go, my sis.
That was obliterated. Our civilization was obliterated and burned to smithereens. So nothing was left.
Vudum, sis. If you could hold it there, please, my sis.
You understand, my sister? We were everywhere.
Yeah, my sis, we're playing the piece now, sis.
Speak, Sister Shanice, I didn't hear you.
Asheto, Wamayun, Wamawa, Ayowase, Afopesaro, Kemiolagu.
Okay, my sis, can you hear the piece that we're playing from Chief Amlak? If you can listen off air then, my sis, I'm actually playing the clip now. It's been sent to me by Dr. Abu. Please listen off air. Okay.
Sister, blessed love.
One love.
Whatever we shall go to where we are more or para, Eshepada, Ashegbo, Asheto, Wamayun, Wamawa, Ayowase, Afopesaro, Kemiola, Woi, Ogurade. What do you do? Or para, Eshepada, Ashegbo. Asheto, Wamayun, Wamawa, Ayowase, Afopesaro, Kemiolagun. Oi, Ogulade, Odadodo Tonto, Owopara, Eshepada, Ashegbo, Asheto, Wamayun, Wamawa, Ayowase, Afopesaro, Kemiolagun. Oi, Ogulade, Odadodo Tonto, Owopara, Eshepada, Ashegbo, Asheto, Wamayun, Wamawa, Ayowase, Afopesoro, Kemiola.
Rise up, Dr. Abu and sis. That was from Chief Amlak. So that was the piece. Brother Dr. Abu, you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm on the line, Empress.
Oh, rise up yourself. Do you want to talk to that that interjection there that we just played, that piece that we just played?
You see, it has shows that we have to go back to our way of victory, you know. You know, see it, you know. We don't not moving towards victory. We are moving towards parade. Having a big parade, but a parade is not a victory. You understand? It's not a victory, sis, you know. And to where we are right now, you know, we are at war. You understand? And we have to start to think and see our people come out of war. You understand? The simple as that, you know, because the whole thing about it, if you look and see that what we go through as a people, you understand, you know, what we go through as a people by the hands, you know, of the oppressor, and to see that today, you understand, we are afraid to even let go that to free ourselves, blood. You know? You know, so I can't join the entertainment crew anymore. And entertainment is for a moment. You understand? But it become our everyday life, and our liberation becomes seasonal and weekend and other people's birthday. You know, see how we are do things backward, Empress. You understand? So I'm saying that I'm not telling them people to go stop the way them I do. You understand? Well, I'm linking with people we really are moved towards victory and development. Because right now, if we are moved towards development as a people, we will have development, but we are moving towards a membership drive.
We heard our brother today.
So we have no unity and we have no support because we've become competitive because it's who have the biggest number. That is not the African way. No higher. That's capitalism. You know, see, and a lot of people want to be entrepreneur off our back. You understand? So I just say Vodum higher. Vodum. The only source that we can move to free ourselves is through our African spirituality. Oludumare, Vodum Da'a. Those things were there before there was even a Kemet.
I'm going to go on to that, actually. After 1 o'clock, I'm going to go into some really interesting information that I've found out about our traditional African gods, their names, their goddesses. It's really interesting. Do you want to make a final comment? Our brother that was on the phone earlier came with a whole new school of thought. He was saying that we are consciousness. Sorry about that.
Infinite.
We are infinite. We are
no God and goddesses. All them things are European talk. I don't call ourselves God and goddess. And now we are do that, we're still in slavery. Simple as that.
Okay, we hear you on that. I'll come back to that after the piece. Thank you. One love as always, Dr. Abu. Keep rising forevermore. Boom. So caller 527, let me give you 3 minutes to the top of the hour, and then I'm going to have a musical interlude so that I can break the show for Brother Anu, and then I'll come back again. So caller 527, greetings. Who do we have on the line?
Yes, my sister Shanice, is me again. Nene Kutu, yes?
Melakutu, welcome back.
Yes. I just said Dr. Abu said that is very good, you know, it's the truth that he spoke, you know. The guy is a spiritual person, you know. He's got a true spirit, you know, so he's a good leader, you know. He's good, you know. But, you know, just before that I had some jingles, you know, and some Yoruba
yeah.
Something, yeah. Right, it's very beautiful. But, you know, I can just say this, you know. I can say, did you understand that?
No.
Right. So, if I was to tell you that's an African language I just made up, to you, I can use it to do anything. I'm not discrediting nothing, but I'm just saying all it is, when they say go back to your African spirituality, yes, is to go back within yourself, yes? Right. This Orudumare, this voodoo, this Mao, this all those Olunkuku, whatever they call it, yes, it's you. Yeah, it's you are that. Yeah, you know, you are that. But they're trying to, you know, make all those things external of you. Yeah. So when they say that, you know, you go back to yourself, meaning melaskin. Yeah, study the science of melaskin, then you'll be able to do what Orimatale do or Nkulunkulu did. You'll be able to do all that. You know? So that's where we're missing the point. You know? The study of us. You are the divine being. You know? So they try to make it out like these things are external of you. No. You are the ancestors. You are the power. The power is in your skin and in your mind. You know? You can do so many things. You have the power. You conduct the most to the ethers of this planet. Free of charge.
Wow.
You know, it's of charge. You don't have to pay for it. So this new age spiritualism and all this is just to, you know, it's like it's based around capitalism, like Dr. Abu said, to make money. Nobody owns knowledge. Knowledge is supposed to be given for free. You know, that's too spirituality. You know, you don't charge for knowledge because it's not your own. You came to meet it. It's there. So if you know, give it. If I apply that knowledge and it works for me, in my heart, I will come and donate to you. That's how we live as brothers and sisters. Tell the truth. Don't be expecting anything. Just give it out.
Right.
See yourself. You know, you have the power within you. That's what we have to do. It's not complicated. It's just simple mathematics. You know, the world is built on symbolism. So if you know symbolism, you add mathematics, the science become applicable. You apply the science, what we have to do. We are natural scientists, you know. We can't be lazy in the thinking, in the brain. We cannot be lazy because everything that is there that we need to protect, you know, to sustain, to preserve us is there. We see it, but we are blinded by all these quango, quacks, and all these people, you know. African spirituality, yes, but simple form of it. That's what I'm saying, because where we are now, there's confusion we are in. You know, the Caucasians are creating so much confusion. So this is not the time to be hearing. Like I said, if you want to hear it, but let it make sense to you. You know, think about it many ways. Scrutinize what you're hearing. Use your intellectual ability to scrutinize information that you hear. If it doesn't make sense, throw it away. You know, no time to waste. But I'm saying for those people that don't have the time to be reading and to be listening, yes, you can do it yourself. Yes, study your melanin, you yourself as a human being, study yourself. Yeah, if you do that, that means automatically you start eating the right food. Yeah, you start having the right resting time. You will know all the signs about when to sleep and when to wake, when to eat and not when to eat. All those discipline. But because we are lazy thinkers, we try to skip all that and gravitate towards the romanticized spirituality. Hey, we have a problem if we do that. It has to be practical. We have to do it knowledgeable, like knowable knowledge, like, you know, tangible. You can use every day of your life. You know, that's all we have to do.
Ashe. My brother, rise yourself up. We're going to take a little interlude and we'll come back after the break. One love. One love. So if all the callers could hold their calls now, please. I'm just going to read this last text message. Then we'll have a little musical interlude. Then I'm going to come with a presentation about religions, which, you know, is not intended for you to take it on, but it's intended for us to have, you know, a bit more knowledge about the different African religions, okay? And ones can take it or leave it. But, you know, it's about sharing the information that I've come across. And let me read this text message. It says, greetings and great show. It is about the mindset of most black folk, which is still enslaved. No religion will help Africans in a physical world. Once Africa/Caribbean countries learn to make their own arms, trade amongst ourselves, build our bridges, roads, etc., then we can stand on our own feet. Currently, we still give our children European names, wear European wigs, get second-hand clothes from Europe, rely on foreign Jesus and Allah, still Eurocentric education. We will continue to be mocked by all the other races. It's the mindset. Thanks, brother Kofi. Yes, goes back to, I think, where we started actually, about the importance of having the right mind. So family, keep it locked to the Big G. I'm going to be here for another 2 hours. And so I will be back after this little musical interlude where we are going to enjoy once again our brother Tipper Irie. Yes. He's put some of his knowledge into song very creatively.
I'm a black man.
Hey.
I'm an African.
Hey.
And my parents.
Hey.
I'm Jamaican.
What?
And I grew up in a London. So you know I know
where I'm coming from.
I'm a black man.
Hey.
I'm an African. And my parents. I'm Jamaican. And I grew up in a London. So you know I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm going. It's a
Rising up, brother Tipper Irie. Remember just wheel and come again with the front of that song. Woo!